Live from Maverik Center, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As it's the first of a three-game, two-city series as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. These teams will meet three times this weekend. Tonight at Maverik Center for Pucks and Pups, and then Saturday and Sunday, the Grizzlies will be in Boise to take on the Steelheads, and it's going to be very strange to be in Boise for a Sunday game, and that's going to be the series finale. It's going to be the first time the Grizzlies will play a Sunday game against Idaho since November 5th of 2006. That's a Sunday over in Boise. As usually, if the Grizzlies and Steelheads play a Sunday game, it would be here at Maverik Center. Well, it should be a ton of fun. We got a good crowd filing in here. The Grizzlies have had pretty much a week off. Last week, they were in Wichita for a two-game set over at Intrust Bank Arena on Thursday and Friday. On November 6th, Wichita got a 6-4 victory, but the Grizzlies got an outstanding performance from the forward line of Evan Friesen, Stepan Timofeyev, and Danny Geniev. Friesen and Timofeyev each had 1 goal and 1 assist. Geniev had 2 assists, and all three players were a +1, and the Grizzlies got goals from Jack Ricketts and Neil Shea. Last Friday, the Grizzlies picked up a 2-0 shutout victory as Kyle Kaiser, in his Grizzlies debut, stopped all 29 Wichita shots, and the Grizzlies got second-period goals from Luke Manning and Neil Shea. And speaking of Shea, what an outstanding job he's done as of late. He has a goal in 4 straight games, and he also leads Utah with 3 power play goals, and he might need to come up big on the power play for the Grizzlies here tonight as they're taking on an Idaho team that struggled a little bit on the penalty kill at just 79.5%. Well, it's going to be a fun one here this evening as the Grizzlies will have Dylan Wells and net. He's got 1 shutout, and that came on October 24th at Idaho. And for the Steelheads, they're going to counter with Arno Tefenzi, who's a native of Germany. He's making his 4th appearance of the season. Well, if you're in the West Valley area, come on out and join us. We got some exciting stuff happening. It's Pucks and Pups. There's a few dogs in attendance. They're scattered around. They will probably be somewhere around section 107, 108, somewhere around there in the corner. That's going to be defended by Idaho in the first period. When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll talk about who's been hot as of late. We'll also talk about the newest member of the ECHL Hall of Fame, who is a former Grizzlies head coach. We're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 15 minutes from now as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads for the 3rd time this season. These teams split a 2-game series in late October. The Grizzlies won 5-0 on October 24th as Reed Lepster had 3 goals and 1 assist, and Dylan Wells had a 46-save shutout, and he was named the league's goaltender of the week based on that performance. And then the following night on October 25th, the Steelheads were countered with a 4-2 victory. Grizzlies did get goals from John Gillette and Reed Lepster. That was the Grizzlies' home opener as Idaho came away with the 2-goal victory. So both teams spoiled each other's home opener. This is the start of a busy weekend for both teams 3 games in less than 48 hours tonight at Maverik Center, and then both teams will get on the bus and head to Boise for games on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. We had mentioned Neil Shea earlier in the pregame show. He's got a goal in 4 straight games, and he's been about as hot as any Grizzly can be. Tyler Gratton picked up an assist on the Shea power play goal late in the second period last Friday. Gratton has a point in 6 of his last 8 games, and he leads Utah with 6 assists on the season. Aiden Hansen-Buchanan has been an assist machine. He has 5 assists in 7 games with Utah, and he is tied for second among league rookies with 3 power play assists. Reed Lepster has been outstanding in the first 10 games of the regular season as he leads Utah with 9 points, 5 goals, and 4 assists. He has a point in 5 of his last 7 games. Earlier this week, the league named their 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame class. There are 4 members of the 2026 class, and it includes former Utah Grizzlies head coach Jason Christie, who won 90 regular season games and 8 playoff games for the Grizzlies for 3 seasons from 2005 through 2008. Christie led the Grizzlies to the 2008 Western Conference Finals as the Grizzlies defeated Fresno and Victoria before losing in the conference finals to Vegas. That year, the Grizzlies went 32, 30, and 10. So Jason Christie, the Grizzlies' first head coach in their ECHL era, is elected to the league's Hall of Fame, and that's certainly quite the honor for quite a while, and he might still be the league's winningest head coach. So congratulations to Jason Christie, one of 4 members of the ECHL Hall of Fame class of 2026. There was one roster move that was made earlier this week that involved the Grizzlies, as defenseman Connor Kelly was reassigned to the Grizzlies from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Kelly was a 7th-round pick, 204th overall by the Chicago Blackhawks back in 2021. He played for the U.S. national under-17 and under-18 teams from 2018 through 2020. Kelly played for 2 different colleges. He was at the University of Minnesota Duluth for 2 seasons from 2020 through 2022, and he was part of the UMD Bulldogs 2021 Frozen Four Club. After the 2021-22 season, Kelly transferred to Providence College, where he played for 3 seasons from 2022 through 2025, and he was a positive in all 5 seasons in the plus-minus category, and he was a combined plus 34 in 5 college seasons. Last year, he appeared in 2 games of the Colorado Eagles towards the tail end of the season as he got his feet wet in pro hockey, and he had 1 assist and a +1 rating. Kelly's a native of Maple Grove, Minnesota, and he has good size at 6'1" and 201 pounds. He'll make his Grizzlies debut tonight, and he will wear number 74. So it'll be interesting to see Kelly added to the list for the Grizzlies, who now have 9 players with either AHL or NHL contracts. There are 5 players the Grizzlies have who have AHL contracts with the Colorado Eagles, and that includes Evan Friesen, Garrett Pike, Connor Kelly, Rylan Kovacevic, who's going to be back tomorrow night after serving the last of a 3-game suspension this evening, and Neil Shea, as well as 3 players with AHL contracts with the Tucson Roadrunners, and that includes Maxime Barbashev, along with Jack Ricketts and Dylan Wells. And the Grizzlies also have 1 player with an NHL contract, and that is Sage Weinstein. Grizzlies are going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight. And when we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll go over the lineups for both teams. We're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 10 minutes from now as a good crowd's filing in here on a Friday night as the Grizzlies take on the arch rival Idaho Steelheads. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Idaho Steelheads, who are making their 12th appearance this season. They have a record of 5-5-1. They are 4-2-1 on the road. They've struggled a little bit in the friendly confines of Idaho Central Arena. Getting the start in net is going to be Arno Tefensi, who's a native of Germany. It's his 4th game this season. He's got a record of 1-1-1 with a 2.99 goals against average and 895 save percentage. Tefensi is 6'4" and 212 pounds. The backup goaltender is Benny Halaz. Earlier this week, the Steelheads signed former Grizzly goaltender Jake Barcheski. So it's possible we'll see Barcheski either sometime later this weekend or later in the year. The Grizzlies will have a 2-game series here at Maverik Center against Idaho in late December, right after Christmas. So Tefensi is going to get the start in net. Benny Halaz is the backup. Jake Barcheski is a scratch. The former Grizzly led Utah in victories last season. Idaho's going with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight. The starting defensive pairing for the Steelheads includes Matt Anderson, who's wearing number 19. Anderson, a native of Minnesota, 26 years old. He has 2 assists in 7 games. And he'll be paired up with Jake Boltman, who is 6'1" and 200 pounds out of Edina, Minnesota. Boltman is a -6 so far this season. It's the second defensive pairing that's going to get the start for Idaho tonight. It's Anderson and Boltman. We also see a lot of the veteran pairing of Sam Jardine, who's 32 years old out of Alberta, and he's paired up with the 33-year-old Charlie Dodaro from Bloomingdale, Illinois. Third defensive pairing is Aiden Hershuk and Connor Punnett. Watch out for Punnett. He's got an NHL contract with the Dallas Stars. So that's the 6 defensemen for Everett Sheen this evening. The starting forwards for the Steelheads include Nick Canati, the Steelheads captain. He's on the second line left wing, native of Ontario, and he's in his 4th season as a Steelhead. And he replaced A.J. White as the Steelheads captain this season. The starting center is going to be Jade Miller, who has 2 assists in 11 games. It's Miller's 4th season with the Steelheads. And Caleb Pearson, who has 2 goals and 1 assist in 6 games. He'll get a start on the right wing. He's a native of St. Mary's, Ontario. So that's the starting forward line for Idaho, Canadi, Miller, and Pearson. That's the second forward line on Everett Sheen's lineup card. First forward line is going to be Francisco R. Curry, the 22-year-old out of Ontario. He's a very talented forward. 6'1", 200 pounds. He has 2 goals and 3 assists in 11 games. He'll be lined up with Mitch Wall, the 35-year-old former Grizzly, who was in Germany for the last many years, native of California, and Chris Dodaro. He's had some good games against the Grizzlies so far this season, both in the preseason and in the 2-game set over at Idaho Central Arena. Dodaro has 4 assists in 9 games this season. So that's our Curry, Wall, and Dodaro. They're going to be a forward line. We'll see Angus McDonnell, the 20-year-old out of Toronto. He's going to be lined up with Brendan Hoffman, who's Idaho's leading scorer this season. Hoffman has 5 goals and 4 assists in 11 games. And Robbie Holmes, number 32, will be on that line on the right wing. Liam Malmquist is going to be paired out, lined up with Jordan Steinmetz and Nick Ports. So that's the 12 forwards for Idaho tonight. Canadi, Miller, and Pearson will get the start. We'll see if we can line up the Grizzlies lineup with Mark Larson, the public address announcer, and we'll get the lineups from Mark Larson here shortly as the Grizzlies come in with a record of 4-5-1. They're 1-3 here at Maverik Center and 3-2-1 away from the friendly confines. Head coach is John Buchanan, who's in his first season as a professional head coach. The assistant coaches are Ryan Anderson and the former NHLer Jack Skilley. Grizzlies are rolling with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight. Before we get the lineup announcement from Mark Larson, let's go over the forward lines for the Grizzlies this evening. The first forward line for Utah will have Tyler Gratton out there with Luke Manning and Reed Webster. Second forward line is going to be Neil Shea, who's going to go on 4 straight games. He's going to be lined up with Jack Ricketts. And that's my pick to click is Jack Ricketts. Everybody make your pick to click as he's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies. Ricketts has 4 goals and 1 assist in 10 games. And we'll also see Ty Voigt in there. Voigt has 2 goals in 8 games this season. Third forward line has been very productive for the Grizzlies lately. And that's the line of Stepan Timofeyev with Evan Friesen and Danny Genev. And we'll also see John Gillette and Griffin Ness mixed in and with a few other skaters as they're going to be on the fourth forward line. As we mentioned before, the Grizzlies are rolling with 11 forwards tonight Adam Berg is on the injured list with a lower body injury, and Rylan Kovacevic is serving the last of a 3-game suspension. 7 defensemen for John Mechanic's crew tonight. The top defensive pairing is Christian Felton and Garrett Pike. Pike picked up 1 assist last Friday against Wichita, and that came on the Shea goal. He has 2 goals and 3 assists in 9 games. And Christian Felton, the Merrimack product, second-year pro, though he is listed as a rookie as he played in 20 combined games with the AHL and ECHL last season. Luke Salem's going to be paired up with Noah Gansky, and I'm really looking forward to the defensive pairing of Aiden Hansen-Bucata and Connor Kelly. Kelly's making his Grizzlies debut. He's wearing number 74. He's got good size. He's a former 7th-round pick back in 2021 with the Chicago Blackhawks. And Kelly's going to be an interesting one to watch. Sage Weinstein's also going to be in the Grizzlies lineup. He's the 7th defenseman. He's going to be mixed in here and there. As we're waiting for the Grizzlies to hit the ice, and Grisby waves the flag in the new jerseys. It's not quite like the unveiling of the Grizzlies green jersey. However, it looks like the Grizzlies are coming out in a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. The Grizzlies came out in warm-ups in a green jersey, and it was believed that the Grizzlies were going to wear their green jerseys for the first time in a game situation tonight. However, the Grizzlies are wearing a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim, black shorts, and they've got green socks. So it's an interesting look for John Mechanic's crew, and certainly a sharp look. We thought the Grizzlies were going to come out in their new professional green jerseys with white numbers and black trim, but it looks like the Grizzlies are going to be wearing white here this evening. And now let's get the starting lineups from PA announcer Mark Larson.
Grizzlies! First up, it's our MVP, the most valuable bear, Grisby. Starting on defense wearing number 6, Luke Salem. On defense wearing number 21, Noah Gansky. At forward wearing number 22, Neil Shea. At forward wearing number 28, Jack Ricketts. At forward wearing number 96, Ty Voigt. And protecting our goal tonight wearing number 32, Dylan Wells.
So that's the lineup for the Grizzlies tonight. The starting defensive pairing is Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. Salem has 2 assists in 9 games, and Gansky has 1 assist in 9 games. And Gansky's an even in the plus-minus category. He is 6'7" and 209 pounds. The starting forwards include the red-hot Neil Shea, who has 4 goals and 4 assists in 10 games. Jack Ricketts, my pick to click. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist in 10 games. And Ty Voigt, the former Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick and former Maple Leafs contracted player. He had a contract for 3 seasons with Toronto. He played with Cincinnati last year. He'll be wearing number 96, and he'll be the starting right wing. Grisby's waving the flag in his green jersey. We'll see those later on this season. The Grizzlies unveiled them for warm-ups, and what a sharp look it is. I actually saw a couple fans wearing those green jerseys as well, as they might have gotten them from the team store. Now let's pause. The colors are unveiled, and let's have our national anthem here on a Friday night. Pretty good crowd. Maybe one of the biggest crowds we've had all season here at Maverik Center. It's the 5th home game of the year.
Now, please rise and remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem performed tonight by Lyman High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the barrel
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads, and hopefully on Flow Sports we'll see the action on the ice as opposed to seeing me, as that's what you're watching if you're seeing the game on YouTube on the Grizzlies audio channel. Grizzlies will have a ceremonial puck drop at center ice. It's Pucks and Pups here on a Friday night as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads for the third time this season. Utah split a 2-game series with Idaho in late October as the Grizzlies got a 5-0 victory on October 24th, and then Idaho reversed the course and won on Utah's home opener on October 25th. That was a 4-2 game. For Pucks and Pups, we'll have a ceremonial puck drop. And there's some dogs mixed in around here at Maverik Center, and hopefully Flow Sports will show something other than me, and they'll show the action. On the ice, the Grizzlies are wearing a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. They are wearing green socks, as originally it looked like it was going to be the Grizzlies wearing a green jersey tonight, and both teams would have had a dark jersey, as the Steelheads are wearing a black jersey with white numbers and white lettering in the back, and a little bit of silver mixed in the top and bottom of the jersey. So see if the Grizzlies can come out firing against Wichita. They had a couple tough starts 8 days ago. Wichita led 3-0 after one period, and then the Grizzlies responded with 3 unanswered in the early portion of the second period. And we'll see if the Grizzlies can come away with the 2 standings points tonight. Grizzlies will start out with the forward line of Neil Shea, Jack Ricketts, and Ty Voigt, and a defensive pairing of Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. And hopefully at some point, Flow Sports will show the action on the ice and not show me. There we go on Flow Sports. Jade Miller will take the drives out there with Kanadi and Caleb Pearson. We might just break this camera so they don't ever show me ever again. As Ricketts gets over to Shea, skates along the left circle, take a lefty shot, and it goes just wide to see was nearby Jake Boltman. Now Shea gets it behind Idaho's net. Boltman nearby as Boltman blasts Shea along the glass. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it from high top section 114. Ricketts collides with Miller. Boltman one-hands it across to Matt Anderson. Anderson gets it across to Kanadi. Kanadi will zip it off a Grizzlies stick, and it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Salem races after. He gets there a stride ahead of Caleb Pearson. As puck goes back over to Idaho. Anderson dangles left side. He'll take a lefty shot saved by Wells that glanced off his right shoulder. Pearson in the area. As he'll slide it up top to Charlie Dodaro. His brother Chris is in the lineup wearing number 59. Charlie Dodaro will whip it in deep off the backboard behind Wells' net. The U-Health sign. Puck goes back to center ice. Anderson will slip it to his right for Dodaro. Dodaro gains the line. Bounces one to Anderson. Centering pass. Shot to score. Anderson to Holmes to the back of the net as he roofed it right over Dylan Wells. And exactly 1 minute in, the Steelheads take a 1-0 lead. Good passing by Idaho as they enter the offensive zone with a little bit of momentum. They got towards the right side, and then just 2 passes. Anderson with that second pass on to Holmes. And Robbie Holmes, who's a power forward, 6'2", 202 pounds. He plays a physical brand of hockey and likes to get out in front of the net. He's a native of Alberta, and Holmes gets his second goal of the season. Draw one by the Grizzlies as Pike's out there with Christian Felton. Garrett Pike will slide one across to Felton as Felton will zip it out to center ice. Puck goes off the stick of Reed Lebster in his first shift of the game. As the Steelheads will spin it along the near wing boards. Holmes, the goal scorer, gets held up by Gratton. Puck goes from one corner to the other. Lebster runs it down. Right side will take a righty shot, and that's sticked away by Idaho's number 10. And that's Sam Jardine, the 32-year-old out of Alberta. This is his 246th career ECHL game. Lebster around the boards for Gratton behind the net. Gratton gets double-teamed. He'll throw it back to the right wing for Felton. Felton along the boards, gets blasted, and gets divorced in the puck. And Idaho will clear it out to center ice where the Grizzlies reset. Pike will get it across to Lebster. As Reed Lebster, diagonal pass angle left to Manning. Manning across center ice, gets around Charlie Dodaro. Steelheads clear it back to center ice and beyond into the Grizzlies zone. Aiden Hanson-Bucata runs it down, no icing on the play. Our Curry's behind Hanson-Bucata, who zips along the far wing boards towards John Gillette. Now the puck goes back towards Hanson-Bucata as he tries to muscle his way towards the far corner deep in the Grizzlies zone. Slides it towards Connor Kelly in his first shift as a Grizzly. Kelly wearing number 74. He's got good size at 6'2" and 201 pounds. Kelly gets the puck. He'll throw it to his right near the Grizzlies bench. And the Grizzlies played it. Almost got away with too many men on the ice as Manning was trying to come off. 2.5 minutes in, Idaho leads 1-0. Salem overpowers Christodero. Now the puck goes back towards Christodero. He'll throw it to the right side. Siren pass glanced off of Wells. Grizzlies will move it out to center ice. Timo Feyev dancing around the Utah line. And he'll backhand it out. And it's picked off by Idaho. Malmquist stops at neutral ice before Wall was able to exit back to neutral ice. And a smart play. Now we get a whistle as the puck goes back to neutral ice. 17:15 left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0. Steelheads have taken the first 3 shots of the game. Robbie Holmes scored exactly 1 minute in with Matt Anderson getting his 3rd assist and Charlie Dodaro picking up his 3rd assist of the season. Draws near the Grizzlies bench as Utah still looking for its first shot on Arno Tefenzi, native of Russia. 4th game he's played for Idaho this season. Timo Feyev gets it knifed away by Boltman as Gansky fires it off the near wing boards, angle left. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the period. Salem dumps it in as the fans still filing in. And we actually do have a pretty good Friday night crowd here on Pucks and Pups at Maverik Center. Sage Weinstein gets thrown along the boards by Matt Anderson. As Idaho crosses center ice, Nick Ports will flop it into the left corner. Gansky runs it down deep in the Grizzlies zone. He gets to Danny Genev in his first shift of the game. Genev's out there with Timo Feyev and Friesen. Genev enters from the right side, skates towards the right circle, take a lefty shot and hits the post. Iron unkind as he bounced one off the crossbar. And that's not officially listed as a shot. 3.5 minutes in. As Genev, if you would have had just the perfect accuracy, could have tied the game. Neil Shea at center ice dumps it in. He gets around Anderson as Idaho whips it towards the left wing. Voigt trying to get towards Lebster, but it's steered away by Idaho. Canadi out to neutral ice, will flop it in. Steelheads make a line change behind him. Voigt runs it down. He's got great speed. Voigt will tap it off the boards for Pike. Pike zips it back towards Voigt. Voigt slides one to Pike. Pike dancing around, and he'll feed a diagonal pass angle right onto Ricketts, and Ricketts zips it around the boards. Grizzlies make a full line change. We play just over 4 minutes, and Idaho leads 1-0. Steelheads spread the ice. They are 5-5-1 this season. Grizzlies are 4-5-1. Dancing around Idaho. We'll throw it towards the near side. Both teams will get very familiar with each other throughout this weekend. Hanson Buchanan will dump it back into the Steelhead zone. Charlie Dodaro flips it ahead. North south pass goes past Caleb Pearson. Hanson Buchanan out to center ice off the stick, and it flies out of play off the protective netting and into section 1 and the row 1 of section 111. Both teams will switch up skaters. Grizzlies kind of going with a new unique look with the green socks. I got to wonder if maybe the switch to the white jerseys was the last second flip, knowing that Idaho is wearing their dark jerseys tonight. Griffin Ness will take the draw. He's out there with John Gillette and Neil Shea. Ness played a pretty good series against Wichita last week. 1 goal and 2 assists in 10 games. As Idaho wins the neutral zone draw, Steelhead skate from left to right here in the period, wearing silver and black. Ahead to Hoffman. Hoffman in the right wing. He's their leading scorer this year. Over to Holmes, the goal scorer from one corner to the other. He'll flip it towards number 27, Angus McDonnell, the 20-year-old out of Toronto. Out towards center ice, Shea dumps it in. Grizzlies have 3 players wearing the A's on their sweaters this evening. Grizzlies will roll it along the boards. Wells cuts it off behind his net. Neil Shea, Luke Manning, and Noah Gansky each have A's on their sweater, and the captain's Tyler Gratton. As Idaho gets off the boards, as Holmes over to Hoffman. Hoffman spins around, but Ness took the puck away. Ness will dangle it out to neutral ice, and he will sail it all the way deep into the Steelhead zone. He'll come off the ice for a change. So Idaho has the puck. We're 5.5 minutes in. Steelheads lead 1-0. Idaho's taking the first 3 shots of the game. Connor Punnett will skate towards his blue line, move it ahead to Arcuri. Arcuri gets blasted by Salem, but keeps control of the puck. Arcuri siren pass, kicked by Wells. One shot saved by Wells again as the Grizzlies come back the other way. Genev gains the center red line. He'll throw it across. Getting off the boards is Timo Feyev over to Salem. He gets tripped up by Arcuri. Whistle blows, and we got a penalty on the Steelheads with 14:10 left. Interference is going to be the call, and referee Nolan Boyer is going to send Francisco Arcuri to the box. Arcuri picking up his second minor penalty of the season. And the Grizzlies power play will go to work. Utah is 16.2% on the power play this year, and Idaho's penalty kill is 79.5%. We're just getting underway, so grab some chips and dip and a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Friday with us. Interference to the call, 5:50 into the first period. Grizzlies will have Tyler Bratton taking the drives out there with Ty Voigt and Reed Webster. Up top is Neil Shea and Garrett Pike. Gratton crouches down low, second-year pro. He played his college hockey at a couple different places. He was at Penn State for a few years, where he was a teammate of Danny Genev. And then 2 years ago, he was the captain at Arizona State University. Draw one by Idaho as Connor Punnett runs it down. He'll zip it across the right side. It kicked off of Shea's skate, and it goes back to neutral ice. Pike will skate back into his own zone, fakes it to Webster. Now Pike skates around the far corner, gets around Nick Canati, and he'll nudge it out towards center ice, but throwing it in is Jade Miller. Wells behind his net. He's got Canati chasing after him. Wells will flip it towards Pike, but it goes past him to Voigt. Ty Voigt down the middle of the ice will saucer it to Pike left wing. Pike crosses center ice, and he'll drop it for Voigt. Voigt crosses the center red line down the middle, skates across the offense line, gets the Shea on the left side. Jay back around. Gratton runs it down to the right point, keeps it in. Gratton skates towards his left. He'll nudge it towards Webster. Webster dangles in the left point as he'll skate towards his right. Now he'll push it towards the left circle for Voigt. Voigt will skate towards the left side. Now he veers off to the right. Voigt just outside the right circle. He'll nudge it towards Shea. Shea in the right wing dangles back and forth. They'll take a lefty shot, and it goes wide. Puck goes to the left point and kept in by Pike. Pike skates towards a high slot. Moves his head back and forth. Now he gets to Shea. Now back to Pike. Pike back towards Shea in the right wing. Back up top to Pike. Pike in the left wing. Skates towards a circle. He'll drop it for Webster. Webster back to Gratton. Grizzlies working the puck around. Lefty shot, and it goes just wide. Now right side. Webster with a shot and saved by Tefensi. Boy, Tefensi looked like he bobbled the Gratton shot, and Idaho is able to clear it out to center ice. About 30 seconds left in the power play. Rink wide feed, angle left, goes towards Ness. Ness to Manning as the Grizzlies make a switch. Lefty shot saved by Tefensi. Grizzlies roll it back to the right wing. Genev gets it back up top to Hanson Bukata. He'll skate towards his left near the blue line. He'll slide one back toward Genev. They'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Hoffman. Genev over to Hanson Bukata, glances off his stick. Getting against Caleb Pearson. He's got a breakaway. Skates down the middle, take a righty shot. Saved by Wells. And he holds on with 5 seconds left in the Utah power play and 12:15 left in the first. Well, it looked like Pearson was just standing down the middle of the ice and waiting for the puck to just glance off Hanson Bukata's stick, and once it did, Pearson got the puck and he just raced north-south. And he knew they had two Grizzlies chasing after him, so he didn't have much time to put a move on, so he just skated towards the left circle and fired away on Wells. Caleb Pearson's off to a decent start this season. 6 games, he has 2 goals and 1 assist. As Wells makes kind of a routine save out in front of the crease. Mitch Wall will take the draw for Idaho, the former Grizzly. He was with Utah for 2 years, from 2011 through 2013, which does seem like it was a while ago, and that's because it was. But he had 2 very productive seasons with Utah where he averaged more than a point a game. Draw one by Idaho as Cristodero gets it taken away, wearing number 55. Over the offense line, Idaho's back at full strength. Utah's 0 for 1 on the power play, but they did work the puck around pretty good on their power play shift that lasted about 90 seconds. Ricketts towards the right side will bounce it off a Steelhead. Now our Curry fresh out of the box will tap it off the skate of Cristodero. Chris, the younger brother of Charlie. Chris is 29 years old. Charlie Dodero's 33. Connor Kelly will drop it for Hanson Bukata. Grizzlies will nudge it towards their left. Ricketts runs it down. He gets the stick lifted, gets it back, skates down the middle of the ice. Ricketts with the backhand shot, saved by Tefensi, and he holds on, but a good job by Jack Ricketts. Gained the blue line with some momentum, and he fired a backhand shot that Tefensi made the save on. We have 11:37 left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0 as they scored in the game's first shot, as Robbie Holmes scored on a pass from Matt Anderson. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
11 minutes, 37 seconds left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0 as Robbie Holmes scored exactly 1 minute into the game. Grizzlies have the forward line of Evan Friesen, Stepan Timofeyev, and Danny Genev on the ice. Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State. He was in training camp with the Idaho Steelheads, and he actually had two pretty good games for Idaho against Utah. And then Genev was traded to the Grizzlies for future considerations. Puck goes between the defensive pairing of Pike and Felton. Felton will tattoo it off the near boards. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the period. Pike will skate towards his left. Now he crosses center ice, gets around Holmes. As Pike gets belted by Hoffman, left wing shot by Friesen goes wide. As Felton over towards Genev on the right side, he'll take a lefty shot and it's blocked. Genev gets it back. Genev skates along the right goal line, skates in, shot, he gets belted and he falls down as he was denied by the combination of Idaho's defense and Tefensi. As Pike with a left wing shot that goes wide, glove side on Tefensi. As dancing around Christian Felton on the right side, he taps off a stick and the puck goes back to neutral ice. Grizzlies reset. Pike nudges ahead towards Friesen, who gets to Timofeyev. Timofeyev on the left side, take a righty shot, saved by Tefensi. It goes past him onto the near goal line. Grizzlies hacking away. Idaho has three guys literally hanging out in their nets, and they hold on with 10:44 left in the first. Boy, Idaho took the first 5 shots of the game, and the Grizzlies responded with 6 straight. Boy, Tefensi has had a couple of them where, there's one on the power play where Gratton had it go past him, and there was another one that was taken by Timofeyev that just kind of snuck up on him, and it went past him, but just outside the cage. And then 3 or 4 Idaho bodies literally were hanging out inside their net to make sure that they were able to cover up, and looked like a Grizzly was inside their net as well. Utah wins the offensive zone draw. Shea gets towards Voigt. Voigt tried to slide one out in front to Ricketts. His shot goes wide. Does Ricketts. Now Ricketts gets it back. Shot saved by Tefensi as the Steelheads will skate towards the near corner. Boltman gets pinned by Shea as Shea flips it up top to Weinstein. Weinstein with the lefty shot that goes wide. He was looking for Voigt to redirect it. Idaho skies it out to center ice. Ports will dump it to the Utah line as Weinstein gets it across towards Shea. He gets knifed away by Steinmetz back towards Weinstein. We'll drift the puck around Utah's net. Now a turnover. Idaho dancing around down the middle of the ice. Ports with a righty shot that goes high. He gets it off the glass, does Ports. He'll feed it up top to Anderson. Anderson dangles back and forth. He's in the high slot. He'll slide it to his left. Steinmetz gets towards neutral ice. Voigt trips up an Idaho skater, no call. Shea gets belted by Anderson along the near boards as Shea was trying to gain the offensive blue. Gansky rolls it in deep as the Grizzlies reshuffle the deck. Halfway through the first period, Idaho leads 1-0. Steinmetz crosses center ice. He dumps it in. Connor Kelly races after in his Grizzlies debut. He's got good size speed ratio. Grizzlies cross center ice, and Gansky or Lebster will dump it in. Lebster, one of the bigger forwards for the Grizzlies this season. Gratton extended his stick to try to get along the near wing boards. 2-on-2 scrum. Puck goes towards Connor Punut, who gets hit by Gratton in the back. Idaho's Nick Canati will slide it towards Miller. It goes off the Miller and into the Grizzlies zone. Hansi Bukata gets the loose puck, and he'll zip it around the wall as Gratton gets hit in the back by Canati. Puck goes to neutral ice. Jade Miller skates around the center ice logo. Now feed it to his right for Punnett. Punnett over to Miller. Miller's on the right wing, steps over the offensive line, gets back checked by Manning. Now starting pass by Canati, rolls onto Wells, who does the splits and kicks it with his his right ankle. Lebster gets around Punnett, skates on the middle of the ice. He'll take a righty shot, and he fanned on it as he just tried to scoop it. Now starting pass to Gillette, lefty shot saved by Tefensi. Rebound goes back towards Caleb Pearson. Pearson had a breakaway when the Steelheads were shorthanded, and he'll guide it over to his right as the Steelheads make a change. Felton zips it out to center ice for Voigt. Voigt dangles back and forth. Voigt's out there with Gillette and Ness. Gillette lefty shot, and that's blocked away by Tefensi. Right wing, Felton with a shot that's blocked by Tefensi. Might have hit the side of the net. Puck goes back to Francisco Arcuri. He'll get to neutralize, and he'll loft it in. As Chris Sodero gets cut off by Pike. Arm is raised by the linesman, and icing is on Idaho with 8:21. That's the time remaining here in the first period. We know there's a lot of sports entertainment options out there. We appreciate everybody who chose the Grizzlies tonight in their battle with the Idaho Steelheads. Only 5 regular season games if you count tonight. Only 5 left in the all-time series between Utah and Idaho. It's the 244th regular season meeting between the clubs. Grizzlies have won 98 regular season games all time against Idaho. Idaho wins the draw, and they'll tap it off the glass out to center ice. Bouncing puck, Genev gets it, and he'll zip it in on towards Defensi. Defensi will get it ahead towards Aiden Hershuk, number 77, native of Long Beach, California. Puck goes back to neutralize. Genev gets to the middle for Timofeyev. He'll walk down. They'll take a righty shot, saved by Defensi. Rebound shot, saved by Defensi again. As the Steelheads dancing around, Hershuk, rink wide feed, angle right, goes tape to Arcuri. Arcuri skates towards the right corner. Now he gets cut off by Connor Kelly, who seems to be a pretty good player. He hasn't played in a game with Colorado in the AHL yet this season. He had 2 games with Colorado at the end of his last college season last year. As the puck bounced off a stanchion towards the middle of the ice, Grizzlies will clear it out to center. Genev gets the puck. He skates along the right wing, drops for Timofeyev, who's had an active first few games with Utah. He gets belted and double-teamed along the far wing boards. Holmes gets the puck, skates into the offensive zone, gets hit by Gansky, as Holmes is able to get in deep behind Utah's net. Puck slides to the right wing. Boltman with a righty shot, and it gets redirected by a stick. Punt it over to the left side. He's got an NHL contract, throws to the circle, but directly to the stick of Gansky. Puck lifts at center ice, and it ricochets off the video board with 7:07 left in the first. Now it looks like they're ringing the doorbell, and they're going to try to get the dogs a little bit animated here. There's quite a few dogs hanging out in section 110. Quite a few good-looking dogs. I actually have 2 dogs hanging out at home. I had to do a double take when I went to the Mammoth game on Wednesday because Archie, the dog that the Mammoth have been featuring, looks just like a dog named Loki that's hanging out at my house. Loki and Sadie, they're probably watching the game from home. I probably doubt it, though. Pike gets the puck, gets it towards Voigt off this stick. Neither of those two seem to like watching TV much. I'm not sure if many dogs do like watching TV. Punted out to center ice for Ports. Ports gets it across to Malmquist. Malmquist will sweep it into the Grizzlies zone onto the stick of Weinstein for the Grizzlies. Weinstein around towards Shea. It gets spun around with Ports, and the puck lifts out of play off the protective netting. And it kind of hangs up on the netting with 6:38 left in the first. Idaho's outshot Utah. Actually, Utah has outshot Idaho 13-6. But if you think about it, to start the game, it looked like Idaho had a 4-0, maybe 5-0 edge in the shot counts. The Grizzlies have really responded. Utah's averaging 28.6 shots per game, and they're allowing 31.5. Steelheads are one of those teams that it seems like most games they're going to dominate the shot counts. Idaho's averaging just over 34 shots per game, and they allow 30.6. So faceoff's going to be in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone. Steinmetz is kicked out of the circle for Idaho. Jack Ricketts will take it for Utah. Nick Ports will step in for Idaho. Ports, a native of St. Cloud, Minnesota, 25 years old. First year in this league. Grizzlies win the draw, but throw it up and not out. Malmquist will throw it to the left corner. Ports runs it down along with Voigt. Now the puck goes towards Ricketts, the first-year pro out of Quinnipiac and Holy Cross. Puck goes back to center ice. Malmquist will tap it off the boards. Ports gets belted by Weinstein. Malmquist gets nudged by Voigt. Ricketts gets the puck. He skates around Utah's net. Ricketts gets held up by Ports. Now Ricketts trying to gain center ice. He gets it taken away by Idaho. Miller over to Malmquist. He'll drop it for Punnett. Punnett right side. He'll take a lefty shot. Kick saved by Wells off his right pad. Grizzlies come back the other way. Manning crosses center ice. He gets pushed once and twice by Pearson. Manning gets divorced from the puck as Punnett. We'll get it ahead to Nick Canati. Less than 6 minutes left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0. Manning gets the puck in neutral ice. He'll nudge it ahead. Grattan runs it down. Grattan gets pushed to the boards by Charlie Dodaro. Grattan looked for a centering pass. He tried to get to Lebster. It's taken away by Punnett as the Steelheads come back the other way. Idaho from left to right here in the first period. Grizz from right to left. Grattan will slide it to his left. Lebster tried to get to Manning down the middle of the ice, and it was overled for him as he just couldn't reach his stick far enough to get it. Charlie Dodaro out towards center ice, across the center red line, and he'll skip it in on one hop of the ice onto the boards. Gansky will roll it to Lebster. Lebster is in the far corner deep in the Grizzlies zone. He gets double teamed by Wall and Pearson. Wall holds his ground. He'll feed it up top to Wall. It stays in. Jardine over to Boltman, who gets to the right side. Or Curry will take a lefty shot. Kick saved by Wells off his right ankle. Jardine battles with Manning. Manning will clear it out to center ice, and it goes into the Steelhead zone as it wobbles like a spinning top. Both teams will reshuffle the deck and make a line change. Right wing, long-range pass over to Wall. Gets knifed away. Grizzlies over the offensive line. Ness over to Shea. He'll take a lefty shot from the right wing, and that's blocked away by Tefensi. Idaho comes back the other way. 3-on-2. Our Curry fakes a pass. Now he trying to get towards the middle of the ice. Arm is raised by the referee. And now Hanson Buchanan's got a Steelhead in a bear hug. As there was a centering pass on the right side. Arm was raised by the referee. And I wonder if we're going to get matching penalties as Hanson Buchanan just put Matt Anderson in a bear hug. 4:39 is the time remaining first period. And it looks like we're going to have matching penalties. Idaho leads 1-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
4 minutes and 39 seconds left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0 as Robbie Holmes scored exactly 1 minute into the game. Matching penalties as Hanson Buchanan got 2 minutes for roughing, and Idaho's Matt Anderson got 2 minutes for goaltender interference. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Timofeyev talking things over with Genev. Pike and Felton are the defensive pairing. For Idaho, it's going to be Brendan Hoffman taking the drives out there with Boltman and number 27, Angus McDonnell, the 20-year-old, and Connor Punnett. Grizzlies have the puck. They're in their own zone, skating from right to left. Timofeyev over to Genev at center ice. Genev gets around McDonnell. Now Genev skates towards the right side. Fanned on the lefty shot as it slides towards the end boards and covered up by Tefensi. And he will hold on as the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 1:42 left in the 4-on-4 and 4:21 on a frozen clock here in the first period. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 14-8. Utah this season hasn't necessarily been a high shot volume club, but they certainly have gotten their shots off on a regular basis here tonight. In fact, in the 2-game series against Idaho in October, Grizzlies had 31 shots in their 5-0 victory on October 24th and 23 shots in the home opener against Idaho on October 25th. Idaho wins the draw, and they're going to play a bit of a patient game here as Hoffman gets around center ice. Now he accelerates, gets tripped up by Timofeyev. No call on the play. Puck is lifted into the Steelhead zone. Genev looks to run it down as Boltman closes the gap. Now Genev gets knifed away. McDonnell takes the puck. Idaho will accelerate towards neutral ice. McDonnell gets knocked down by Timofeyev. As crossing center ice slowly and rolling it in is number 44, Jake Boltman, 6'1", 200 pounds. Grizzlies come up with it on a collision where Brendan Hoffman collided with the Grizzly. As Utah's Christian Felton will skate with speed out to neutral ice. Felton crosses the center red line, dangles back and forth, gets around one Steelhead, skates towards the right side. They're going to take a righty shot, and that's blocked away by the stick of Tefensi. Grizzlies will voluntarily go out to neutral ice themselves. Point back to Salem. As we have 42 seconds left in the 4-on-4, Salem gets around Hoffman, who fell down. Out towards center ice and beyond. Voigt into the offensive zone, gets towards Gansky down the middle. Take a righty shot, saved by Tefensi, and he holds on with 3:12 left in the first. Grizzlies doing a good job getting their chances in the first period. Idaho, who has had a tough time in terms of goaltending so far this year. Tefensi's done a good job. He has saved all 16 shots he has seen. In fact, Idaho's goaltending so far this year has a team save percentage of just .872. Grizzlies, on the other hand, have a team save percentage of .911. Draw one by Idaho is Charlie Dodaro dancing around. He's patient with the puck. He's got a lot of pro experience, 33 years old. He'll slide it to his left for Kanadi. Kanadi accelerates around Shea, but Kanadi loses the puck as Gansky gets over to Weinstein, back to Gansky. Less than 20 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Out to neutralize for Shea. Shea gets around Ricketts and slides it to his left. Weinstein will take a lefty shot, saved by Tefensi. Puck ricochets off the corner. Now from the left corner back to the right side. Weinstein over to Ricketts. Ricketts taps to Shea off his stick, and Dodaro gets it. Charlie, that is. He'll get to Nick Kanadi, and both teams will return to 5-on-5 skating as Hanson Bukata and Anderson join the play. Now Anderson will come off for an extra attacker. Puck deep in the Grizzlies zone near corner as Gansky gets hit in the back by Kanadi. Taking the puck is Ricketts, and he'll skate along the near wing wall. Ricketts out to center ice, gets it taken away by Chris Dodaro. Dodaro enters. He gets belted by Weinstein. He gets pushed to the ice. Puck goes back to neutral ice. Hershuk will tap it off the glass. Arcuri Anderson on the right side gets around Weinstein. Arcuri will take a lefty shot, saved by Wells. Rebound shot, punted, fanned on it as the puck bounced on him about knee high, and he just couldn't get good wood on it. Wall centers it out towards Chris Dodaro. Shot saved by Wells. He holds on with 2:01 left in the first. Well, good passing by the Steelheads to get a couple good looks. Well, I think for the Grizzlies, it feels like that whole series. Can they find a way to deny that centering pass out in front? Mitch Wall will take the draw against Luke Manning. Manning's in his second full season as a Grizzly. Manning scored a goal as he redirected a Reed Lepster shot last Friday. That was the first goal of the game, and it turned out to be the game winner. Time of that Manning goal last Friday was 8:11 into the second period. And then Neil Shea scored a power play goal 19-19 into the second. That was the only two goals that were needed by the Grizzlies. They won 2-0 on a 29-save shutout by Kyle Kaiser, who's the backup tonight. Grizzlies won the draw. Lepster dumps it in. Gratton chases after it. Getting there a stride ahead of him is the big defenseman Connor Punnett, who's 6'2", 205 pounds. Centering pass is tapped off the stick of Chris Dodaro. Manning around the net. Now he reverses his field and taps to Lepster behind the net. Lepster skates towards the left corner. He'll get it up top towards Gratton. Gratton in the left point will bounce one in. It goes wide. Manning skates in. Shot saved by Tefensi. Now puck goes to the right side. Felton skates towards the right circle. Now around Idaho's net towards the near side. Felton taps up top to Pike. Pike shots blocked by Chris Dodaro. Right side righty shot saved by Tefensi. And he holds on. Gratton was net front trying to either redirect it or act as a screen. And Tefensi was able to make the stop with 1:21 left in the first. Utah's up to 18 shots, and Idaho's taken 10. During the first intermission, we will go over some scores from around the world of sports and recap the first 20 minutes of this one. Griffin Ness was out there with John Gillette and Neil Shea. Ness in his second season as a pro. He played his college hockey at the University of North Dakota. Before that was in the USHL with Waterloo. He played 3 seasons. Last year at Waterloo in the 2019-2020 season, he had 20 goals and 24 assists in 45 games. Grizzlies won the draw. Right side lefty shot saved by Tefensi. He holds on. That shot was taken by John Gillette after the Grizzlies won the face-off. Gillette scored his first professional goal here against the Steelheads on October 25th. A game he'll never forget. Gillette's got 2 goals and 1 assist in 10 games. Ness will take another draw. Grizzlies up to 19 shots. Steelheads have taken 10. Draw one by Utah. Idaho will loft it out to neutralize. Bounced off a glove of Kelly. Now Idaho will race towards the left circle. Lefty shot is bounced off the glove of Wells. Actually, it might have ricocheted off his shoulder. Ness over to Shea left side. Shea over the line gets the Ness. It gets belted by Anderson. Anderson takes the puck and he'll slide it towards the right corner deep in the Steelhead zone. Liam Malmquist will flip it out to center ice. It's gloved and dropped by Ports. We'll sweep it in. Grizzlies chase after it. Kelly and Hanson Bukata communicate. Puck goes towards the corner. Now Malmquist right side. Lefty shot goes wide. Charlie Dodaro spins around John Gillette. Puck goes back towards Griffin Ness, who skates around Utah's net. Less than 40 seconds left in the period. Ness backhands to Shea. Puck wobbles back into the Grizzlies zone. Utah will switch up forwards. Grizzlies get it out towards Timofeyev. He'll tap it to his right near the Grizzlies bench. Genev gets it. Danny Genev skates towards the right side. Backhand shot saved by Tefensi. That's might be the 20th shot, and it is the 20th shot by the Grizzlies in this period. 15 seconds left, but the only goal in the game is Robbie Holmes, who scored exactly 1 minute in for Idaho on a centering pass from Matt Anderson. Grizzlies get it off of Geneva's stick. Running it down is Timofeyev behind the net. Tefensi will zip it along the right side towards the buzzer. Grizzlies fire towards the net. It's sticked away, and that will do it for 20 minutes here at Maverik Center. Grizzlies will be at Idaho Central Arena tomorrow and Sunday, as the only goal was scored by Robbie Holmes exactly 1 minute in. Grizzlies had one power play in the first period, and they had the puck in the offensive zone for a good minute and a half, and they had some good looks, but just couldn't get one past Tefensi. So if you think about the Grizzlies, they're high in shots on goal in a game this season, 37. And they're on pace for 60, exactly one per minute. But Tefensi was the story in the first period. And the Grizzlies, boy, they had some good chances. I'm curious as to what the scoring chances are listed by, with the off-ice officials, how much they list as scoring chances, because the Grizzlies certainly had them in the first period in droves. We'll come back and recap the first 20 minutes of play and also go over some scores from around the world of sports as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads for the first of three this weekend. Remember, the scene shifts to Boise for games on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. After one period, Idaho leads 1-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
After one period here at Maverik Center, the Steelheads lead 1-0. The only goal was scored by Robbie Holmes exactly 1 minute in. It was his second goal of the season. Matt Anderson and Charlie Dodaro picked up the assists. Grizzlies had plenty of chances in the first period, according to the off-ice officials, and they are a little bit more liberal in crediting scoring chances this season. But of the 20 shots the Grizzlies had in the first period, 12 are considered to be scoring chances, and for Idaho, they had 10 shots in the first period, and 4 were considered to be scoring chances. Grizzlies won the face-off battle 11-6. Grizzlies had 3 power play shots, and they had 1 power play in the first period as Francisco Arcuri got an interference minor, 5:50 in. Utah had 3 shots, a couple of them were good looks, and just couldn't find a way to get one past the goal line. Idaho out-hit Utah 7-3 in the first period. Grizzlies had 4 giveaways, and Idaho had 3 in the first period. Matt Anderson got a goalie interference minor, 15-21 in. Hanson Buchan at that same time picked up a roughing minor, and we skated 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Of the 20 shots the Grizzlies had in the first period, Timofeyev, Gillette, and Genev each had 3 shots. Reed Lobster, Jack Ricketts, and Christian Felton each had 2 shots, and a handful of other Grizzlies with 1 shot through 2 periods. For Idaho in their 10 shots, Arcuri had 3 shots. He was an even in the plus-minus category, and 7 other Steelheads with 1 shot each. But the story in the first period had to be Arno Tefensi. who saved all 20 shots, and he came into play in 3 games with Idaho with the .895 save percentage and 2.99 goals against average. Tefensky is from Germany. And for the Grizzlies, Dylan Wells saved 9 of 10 in the first period. It's one of many games in the league tonight. Let's take a look at the Mountain Division scores. After 2 periods, Wichita leads Kansas City 3-1. Smith, Huell, and Blackwell each have goals for the Thunder, so it's more of their role players getting the job done for the Thunder, and Kansas City has a second period goal from David Cotton. They're through 2 periods over at Cable Dama Arena in Independence, Missouri, as Wichita leads Kansas City 3-1. Other action in the league, a few games have gone final. In overtime, Adirondack defeats Reading 4-3. Greensboro gets a 2-0 win over Tahoe. In the battle of Colin Lee versus Jackson Hibbard. Hibbard, the equipment manager for the Tahoe Night Monsters. He was the head equipment manager for the Grizzlies the last 2 years. And Greensboro's athletic trainer is Colin Lee, who's with the Grizzlies over the last 5 years. Former Steelhead Wade Murphy scored what turned out to be the game winner, 12:26 into the first period. Final score, Greensboro 2 and Tahoe 0. The game played in Fishers, Indiana, hometown of Mike Folta. Indy shuts out Rapid City 3-0. As Indy's record goes to 6-4-1, Rapid City falls to 4-6-2. Fort Wayne defeats Kalamazoo 5-3. Colin Sackelman had 2 goals for Kalamazoo in the loss, as Fort Wayne had goals from 5 different players. Florida defeats Greenville 3-2. The game winner was scored by former Grizzly Kyle Betts, and that was 17:49 into the third period. Ryan O'Reilly, no, not that Ryan O'Reilly, scored both of the goals for the Swamp Rabbits. Savannah defeats Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals 5-2. Savannah gets their 4th win of the year. South Carolina defeats Guy Carenza's Atlanta Gladiators 1-0. Kupka scored the lone goal for South Carolina. That was 9:54 into the second period. As Atlanta falls to 8-2 on the year, South Carolina's record goes to 8-3. Worcester defeats Trois-Rivières 6-4. Wheeling gets a 5-1 home victory over Maine, as Posma got 2 goals for the Nailers. Wheeling goes to 7-1 on the season. A couple games in progress. Halfway through the third period, Toledo leads Cincinnati 4-1. Toledo's got goals from 4 different players. Justin Vive has the lone goal for Cincinnati. After 2 periods, Bloomington leads Iowa 2-1. So that's action across the league. When we come back, we'll check in on those who are living the dream, as we have a bunch of NHL scores, including one that's played over at Delta Center, as the Utah Mammoth are taking on the New York Islanders. You're tuned in to the first intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West, or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Number 2, or Weave Dog. Weave. Bob.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. We got a dog contest here at Maverik Center, as they're showcasing at least a dozen dogs of all shapes, sizes, and colors. There's a lot of beautiful dogs hanging out at Maverik Center tonight, as it's it's what was formerly known as Pooch on the Pond. And I think it's the second year it's been called Pucks and Pups here at Maverik Center. One of the great traditions year in and year out here at Maverik Center. And it's certainly a lot of fun. A lot of dogs kind of rolling around and enjoying the coolness of the ice at center ice. As Frisbee looks nearby, and now looks like the dogs are having a good time. Let's go over the NHL scores, a handful of games. There's two that's gone final. In the Global Series, a game that was played in Sweden, Predators defeat the Penguins 2-1. Evgeny Malkin scored the lone goal for Pittsburgh. Forsberg and Stamkos each scored a goal for Nashville, and it was Stamkos' game winner that was assisted by Brady Shea 44 seconds into overtime that gave Nashville a 2-1 lead and a 2-1 victory. Stamkos scored the overtime game winner. Predators outshot the Penguins 30-17. The game that just went final in overtime, Carolina got an overtime game winner from Sebastian Aho. 4:29 in as the Hurricanes defeat the Canucks 4-3. Two games in progress. Early third period, Blues lead the Flyers 4-3, as the Blues have 4 goals on just 13 shots, and the Flyers have 3 goals on 19 shots. St. Louis has goals from 4 different players. And after one period over at Delta Center, the Mammoth lead the Islanders 2-1. Heineman scored for New York 7:13, and it was his 8th goal of the season. Tony DeAngelo had one of the assists for the Islanders, and then J.J. Peterka, the number 1 star on Wednesday night against Buffalo. He had 1 goal and an assist. Peterka scored his 6th goal of the season, 13:02 win, with Lawson Krause and John Marino getting the assist. And then Dylan Gunther added a power play goal, 18:35 in, with Sergachev and Keller getting the assist. Dylan Gunther's one of those guys. He's going to score 30 or 40 goals on a consistent basis. So Utah leads 2-1 after 20 minutes of play over at Delta Center, as the Mammoth are off to a pretty good start this season. As the Mammoth are, I think they're 10-7 through 17 games. And they're taking on an Islanders team that's hoping to find a way to climb back into the playoff race. So that's the NHL scores tonight, as the Dogs are now walking off the ice and the Zambonis are out on the ice doing their thing. So intermission's been extended by a couple minutes. It's a 20-minute intermission here at Maverik Center this evening. It's the first of a 3-game set against Idaho. We mentioned it in the pregame show, but the league's 2026 Hall of Fame class was announced earlier this week, and former Grizzly head coach Jason Christie was among the 4 that was selected. Christie was the first head coach for the Grizzlies in their ECHL era. He had 90 victories in 3 seasons behind the bench for Utah, and he had 8 playoff victories, and all of those came in 2008 as the Grizzlies reached the Western Conference Finals, as they defeated Fresno and Victoria in the playoffs before losing to Las Vegas. Christie is the 6th winningest coach in Grizzlies history. After that 2008 Western Conference Finals appearance, he took a job as an assistant coach in the American Hockey League. The winningest head coach in Grizzlies history is Tim Branham. He had 284 victories. As Grizzlies head coach, he is now an assistant with the Colorado Eagles. Butch Goring, the legendary player who won 4 Stanley Cups with the New York Islanders as he was part of their dynasty. Goring was the first coach in Grizzlies history, and he had 178 victories as Grizzlies head coach. Kevin Cawley was behind the bench for 5 seasons. Cawley replaced Jason Christie as Grizzlies head coach, and from 2009 through 2013, Cawley won 157 games. Kevin Cawley did spend some time as an NHL player with the New York Islanders. Ryan Kanasowicz is currently coaching a team in Austria. He had 133 wins in 4 seasons behind the Grizzlies bench. Don Hay had 104 wins for the Grizzlies, and he is the 5th winningest head coach in Grizzlies history. There is a little bit of a connection, though. Don Hay and John Buchanan worked together in the WHL in the early 2000s. Buchanan looking for his 5th victory as Utah head coach. Bob Bourne had 83 wins for the Grizzlies in a couple seasons, and Pat Conacher had 23 victories in 1 year, and I think that was the last season that the Grizzlies were in the American Hockey League. Well, it looks like we do have a pretty big crowd. In fact, this one probably rivals the size of the crowd we saw on opening night. As everybody's out for pucks and pups, and they just wanted to see some hockey. It looks like they were treated to 20 fun minutes of hockey. Grizzlies did just about everything except for score a goal in that first period. They had 20 shots, and according to the off-ice officials, and they are a little bit more liberal in crediting scoring chances this season, but they did have 12 scoring chances and 20 shots. Idaho had 10 shots, and 4 were considered to be scoring chances. Grizzlies really liked the structure of the first period, and they were aggressive when they needed to be. They just had to find a way to get something past Idaho goaltender Arno Tefensi, the native of Germany, who's 23 years old, 6'4", 212 pounds. He has good size, but he did leave a couple rebounds out in front. He had a couple of them go past him. On the power play, just got a piece of Granton shot and just kind of bounced in the crease, and then Idaho was able to clear it out. And then there was a shot that Timofeyev took in the left side that bounced off its offense. He went past him and just kind of held up along the outside of the cage. And unfortunately, Idaho then collapsed the net. They had 2 or 3 bodies literally inside the net, and they were able to hold on to maintain the 1-0 lead, and that's where we sit after 20 minutes of play. When we come back in 2 minutes, we will have second period action. We'll skate 5-on-5 on the other side. You've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
It's 1-0 Idaho after 20 minutes of play as the officials are on the ice. Referee tonight is Nolan Boyer. Linesmen are Tyler Keston and Andrew Collins. If you're watching on Flow Sports, there's the first period stats. They were up briefly, and they mentioned really the scoring chances. Utah 12 scoring chances to Idaho's 4 in the first period as the Grizzlies and Steelheads are back on the ice to start the second period. Grizzlies, I believe, were originally going to go with their green jerseys, but with Idaho wearing their black jerseys with silver and white mixed in, Grizzlies looked like they did a little bit of an audible. They unveiled the green jerseys that they're going to wear from time to time this season during warm-ups. Grisby, I believe, has got his green jersey around as they show some highlights from the first period on Flow Sports. There's a goal by Robbie Holmes on a good pass from Matt Anderson. Grizzlies responded pretty well. It looked like Idaho had the first 4 or 5 shots of the game, and the Grizzlies responded almost immediately with about 11 unanswered shots. Our Curry did a good job trying to get a centering pass in there. Dylan Wells, after he gave up the goal, really played outstanding for the remainder of the first period. And both both teams are going to have to use just about every goalie they've got over the course of this weekend, as we're going to have 3 games in 3 days. Webster down the middle of the ice. There was on the power play. Puck ended up past Tefenzi and just bounced just outside towards the far goal line. Shot by Caleb Pearson. That was late in Utah's power play. Jack Ricketts is a guy that can create his own scoring chances out of nothing. He had a backhand attempt that was saved by Tefenzi. Then there was the other one that went past Tefenzi, and that was taken by Timofeyev. It kind of snuck up on the Idaho goaltender, ended up on the outside of the cage, and there was 3 bodies on the inside of the net, as Idaho did a good job protecting their goaltender all periods. Utah will start the second period with the forward line of Luke Manning, Tyler Gratton, and Reed Webster, and a defensive pairing of Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. Grizzlies will be skating from left to right as we see it from high top section 114. Idaho's going to go with a forward line of Jade Miller, Nick Canati, and Caleb Pearson, a defensive pairing of Jake Boltman and Matt Anderson. Manning's going to take the draw for Utah as the Grizzlies are looking to tie it up here early in the second period. And Jade Miller will take the draw for the Steelheads. And we're live here as Idaho wins the draw. Anderson gets it towards Jake Boltman, and Boltman dumps it in. Idaho's called for icing 9 seconds into the second period. So John's going to come back towards Arno Tefenzi. He's wearing number 30. The backup goaltender tonight is Benny Halaz. Earlier this week, they signed Jake Barcheski to the Steelheads, a former Grizzly. Maybe we'll see him later on this week. He was placed on 3-day IR, so I'm not sure if we're going to see him or not during this series. Draw won by Utah's Reed Webster has it on the left side. He leads Utah with 9 points this season. Up top to Salem. Will take a lefty shot. Save. Rebound shot. Saved by Tefenzi again as hacking away his man. Now shot, a score! Tyler Gratton was hacking away with Manning, and we're tied at 1. And it looks like it's Tyler Gratton getting the goal. He had 20 with Reading last season. Gratton gets his second of the year as he high-fives everybody on the Grizzlies bench. And the 23rd shot on goal is the first that goes past Tefenzi tonight. Boy, Grizzlies just kept attacking. Salem took the initial shot from the left side, bounced, and then Manning had a couple looks. Puck flipped into the air, and then Gratton located the puck before Nick Canati, and Gratton slid it past the goal line. So Manning should get an assist there as he was hacking away a couple times on Tefenzi, and the other assist probably goes to Luke Salem, although the off-ice officials are going to take a look at it to officially say who gets the assist on the tying goal that came 19 seconds into the second period. Gratton gets the goal. The assists go to Manning and Salem as the Steelheads win the draw. Anderson gets it towards Boltman. Boltman dangles back and forth, gains the center red line, and he'll flip it in. Canati lets it go towards the left point to Anderson, who trying to get back to Canati, force it in there. It's picked off by Manning. Manning crosses center ice, gets around a hacking Brendan Hoffman. Manning fires towards the net, and it's blocked away by Tefenzi. Boy, Grizzlies are buzzing here to start the second period. Canati gets around Felton. Canati races, gets the puck in the left circle. Take a lefty shot and hits the post. And ricochets towards the near wall. Grizzlies skate from left to right. They've got momentum. Manning out towards center ice. He gets pushed by Anderson. And the arm is raised by both linesmen. Delayed offside as the Steelheads Jake Boltman will flip it out towards center ice. It ricochets off the boards on towards Weinstein. Weinstein feeds a right wing pass to Felton. Felton at center ice will dump it in as he gets off the ice for a change. Timofeyev belts the Steelhead and throws him to the ice as he just knocked down Matt Anderson. Hoffman around the offense line, dumps it into the right corner deep in the Grizzly zone. He gets there a stride ahead of Hanson Bucanda. Jardine gets the puck in the left wing. Jardine spins it back around towards Robbie Holmes, Idaho's lone goal scorer. He skates around Utah's net towards the near side. Holmes accelerates the puck towards the left corner. Now up top towards Jardine. He collides with Timofeyev. Both guys wear number 10. Puck to the right wing. Hanson Bucana gets nudged in the back. Now he gets cut off by Holmes. Taking the puck is Friesen, gets hit in the back once and twice. Gets some lumber from Hoffman. As Hoffman gets the puck, skates towards the right corner. Gets tripped up, no call. Hanson Bucana joins the play. Now the Grizzlies, Friesen holds his ground as he tries to get around Chris Dodaro. Now it's slid by Friesen out towards center ice. Jardine will bounce one towards the Steelheads bench. Hoffman's at the end of his shift as the Grizzlies get it back deep in their own zone. Connor Kelly in his Grizzlies debut over to Hanson Bukata. He'll nudge it to new tries for Genev. Genev long-range pass angle right off a Steelhead stick. Timofeyev runs it down. He skates around to Idaho's net. Timofeyev up top towards Salem. Lefty shot save. Rebound shot goes wide. Second look was out in front with Griffin Ness. Ness with a backhand attempt and just missed stick side on Tefensi. Wall over towards Tadero over the line. Now centering pass across Tadero. Lefty shot swings and misses as he had Salem nearby. Gansky gets it out towards Manning. Manning muscles his way past the Steelhead over to Gansky. Centering pass shot saved by Tefensi. That shot was taken by John Gillette on a great feed out in front from Noah Gansky. Tefensi's been active here so far tonight. Grizzlies already have 26 shots on goal, and there's still 17-10 left in the second period. So Grizzlies already 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the second period, have 6 shots in the period, and Idaho's yet to officially get anything on Wells. So Manning will take the face-off. He's out there with Gillette and Ness as the Grizzlies are rolling with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight. So Gillette and Ness have been working with, seems like a different forward every shift. Gillette gets up top for Weinstein down the middle of the ice. Take a lefty shot that's blocked by Ports. Now bouncing puck, Manning gets taken away from behind by Ports. Malmquist gets the puck on the right side, dances around. He's got Pike nearby. Now the puck goes towards Ports. Ports spins around Weinstein, taking the puck as Griffin Ness. He avoids an Idaho check. Ness gets the puck back, and he'll slide it to center. It's looking for Gillette. It bounced over his stick. Puck slides deep into the Idaho zone. No icing, so the Grizzlies will reshuffle the deck. Puck to center ice as Jade Miller gets it. He'll skate back into his own zone. Miller's being chased by Ricketts. Long-range feed, angle left, goes tape to Anderson. Anderson towards the left side. Now skates around Utah's net towards the right wing. He'll flip it up top. Kanadi down the middle of the ice. He was a defenseman for Idaho. Now he's a forward. Skates towards the left circle. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Wells. Bouncing puck to the right side. Voigt one hands it ahead. Shea sweeps it out to center ice. Taking us Ricketts. Ricketts over the offensive line. Gets triple teamed. Anderson took his time and space away, so Ricketts didn't have a shot. Voigt gets knocked down, gets on one knee, and slides it towards the Idaho bench. Grizzlies regather it. Gansky nudges it ahead. And goes off a couple sticks on towards Jake Boltman for Idaho, wearing number 44. He'll get to Anderson at the near side. Anderson across to Kanadi. Dangles back to neutral ice. He'll feed it to his left for Hoffman. Hoffman over the offensive line. Gets divorced from the puck by Gansky. Grizzlies move it ahead. Webster towards Voigt. Voigt on the right side. Sweeps one out in front looking for Gratton. It glanced off a Gratton stick. Idaho comes back the other way. Hoffman out to neutral ice. Skates towards the left wing. Hoffman backhands it out in front as he was looking for a cutter. And the pass towards McDonnell misconnected. Now starting pass, McDonnell, lefty shot saved by Wells. Everybody hacking away in the crease. And the Steelheads have it flipped towards the right wing. Jardine keeps it in on the right point. Now back down low, it bounced off referee Nolan Bloyer. Gansky gets it, and he'll move it to his right for Webster. Webster will nudge it ahead towards Manning, but the Grizzlies are offside with 15:06 left in the second. Pretty good crowd here tonight. I know an opening night against Idaho on October 25th, there was an announced crowd of 5,700. Won't surprise me if we got something close to that here this evening. Draws at neutral ice, and the Grizzlies have the forward line of Timofeyev, Friesen, and Genev on the ice. Friesen takes a draw, but it's won by Idaho. Our Curry, who had 3 shots in the first period, skates angle right, dumps it towards the right wing boards, chases after it, gets it towards Chris Tadero off his stick, puck flips into the air. Now goes back up top. Charlie Tadero helicopters towards the net and hits the pipe. And the iron unkind once again for Idaho as Grizzlies get a break. Kelly to the right wing. Skates over the offensive line and gets cut off by Jardine. Puck goes behind Idaho's net. As a Steelhead skate from right to left. Tadero over to Wall. Wall will pitch it towards our crate. Glanced off a couple sticks. Grizzlies get it back. Hanson Bukanda holds onto the puck. Now he gets it across towards Felton. Felton will zip it off the near wing wall towards Timofeyev. Timofeyev will skate towards his left, and they'll nudge it towards Felton. Felton will saucer the puck towards the Idaho backboard and chase after it. Felton gets double-teamed in the right corner, trying to force his way up top. Now the puck goes up top, taken away by our Curry for Idaho. Chris Tadero near the Grizzlies bench, gets around center ice. He dumps it in as he got hit in the back by Pike. Timofeyev gets it behind Utah's net. 6 minutes into the second period, we're tied at 1. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 26-13. Ports will get it to Malmquist, who skates into the right circle, spinning around. Malmquist gets pushed by Timofeyev. Centering pass out in front, cut off by Pike. He'll clear it towards the right wing boards, and Ness will chip it into the Steelhead zone. Running after the loose puck is Hershuk. Hershuk, rink wide feed, angle left, gets skipped onto the Steinmetz, who dumps it in. Steinmetz, number 29 for Idaho. Gansky gets over towards Gillette. Gillette to the right wing for Grattan. Grattan steps over the offensive line with momentum. Grattan will skate in, trying to sweep one out in front, and it's blocked away by Defensi. Gansky gets it across towards Gillette. Gillette gets a screen from the referee. Idaho's Connor Punnett takes control of the puck. He'll throw it in front of his net to Hershuk. Hershuk gets it to the right wing. Idaho crosses center ice. Steinmetz will skip it on towards Wells, and Wells will cover up as Steinmetz got through a couple Grizzlies and skated towards the Utah crease. 13:09 left in the second period, and we're tied at 1 as Tyler Grattan got his second of the season, 19 seconds in. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
13:09 is the time remaining in the second period, and we're tied at 1. Tyler Grattan scored 19 seconds into the second period. It's his 22nd professional goal. He had 20 goals last season with the Reading Royals, and that led the club. It's his 11th game as a Grizzly, and he now has 2 goals. It's actually his 23rd professional goal. He had 1 goal a couple years ago with the Reading Royals in 7 games. So he had 21 goals in total for Reading. And now he has 2 as a Grizzly. So 23 pro goals for Tyler Grattan. Puck deep in the Idaho zone. Less than 13 minutes left in the second period. It's Ricketts. Centers it out in front. It's picked off by Nick Canati. Canati dangling back and forth, and he'll chip it towards center ice. Puck goes on to Gansky's stick, and Gansky will whip it in. Defensi will bounce it off the far wing boards. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Boltman gets it behind Idaho's net. He'll force one towards Anderson. Anderson gets it head to new. Tries to Malmquist, tape to tape. Malmquist gets the center ice. Actually, it's Jade Miller, and Miller dumps it in. Salem around towards Shea off his stick. Idaho will skate around. Charlie Dodaro centers to Canati. He'll take a lefty shot, and it goes high as he missed the net stick side on Wells. Now Hoffman tried to get it across as he was looking for Canati. Pass behind him. Gansky gets it off the boards, gets to center ice, and he'll sweep it around the wall as he comes off the ice for a change. Luke Manning towards the left wing will tap it off a Steelhead stick. Brendan Hoffman with the puck. He'll get towards center ice. Hoffman dumps it in. He chases after it. Hoffman leads Idaho with 9 points this season. He nudges Weinstein in the back. Grizzlies will carry it out to center ice. Grattan gets around 2 Steelhead, skates towards the left point. He'll take a lefty shot that goes wide. Lepster to the right wing, skates towards the corner. He gets cut off, and it's lifted by McDonnell. He chases after it. Pike gets there. Pike's got an AHL contract with Colorado. Weinstein with an NHL deal with the Avalanche. Lepster gets the center ice, trying to dump it in, and just got it towards the Idaho line. Now it's taken by Lepster as he gets knifed away by Hoffman. Now Lepster gets it back left goal line. Skates in. He'll take a righty shot, and it goes wide. He gets tripped up, and it's going to be a Utah power play as the arm is raised by Nolan Boyer. Tripping is going to be the call. And going to the box is the former Grizzly Mitch Wall. Actually, it's 2 sevens in his jersey number. It's Aiden Hershuk. Hershuk gets his 3rd minor penalty of the season. And he goes to the box with 11:28 left in the second. So the second power play for the Grizzlies tonight. Utah had 3 shots in their first period power play. Hershuk gets 2 minutes for tripping, 8:32 in. Manning will take the draw. He's out there. Griffin Ness on the ice. Jack Ricketts, Hanson Bukata, and Danny Jania. That's the party of 5 for Utah. Grizzlies won the draw. Hanson Bukata will fake it towards Manning. Hansby kind of spins himself around and now gets to Genev on the right side. Genev gets it taken away by Kanadi. Idaho races across center ice. Kanadi over the offensive line left wing. Now he'll chip one wide on Wells' stick side. Punt it in the area to the right corner. It's taken away by Utah. Ricketts gets towards Hanson Bucado, who skates around Wells' net. Bucado on the back check. Punt it takes it away. Punt it falls down on his own with Bucado nearby. Hoffman gets to punt it on the right side. Punt it with a righty shot kick saved by Wells off his right pad. Hanson Bucado spins around Hoffman, gets out towards Neutrise. Hoffman took it away. Hoffman towards the left wing, dancing around. Now flip it back to Neutrise and into the Steelhead zone. Jardine gets the puck. He'll move it across to his right. Idaho playing a game of keep away in their own zone. Jardine flips it out of play, and it goes into section 3. That's going to be, was it tip off the glass? Nolan Blair says it was. I'm not sure if it tipped off the glass. It was the very top of the glass. No delay of game as it went into about section 114, about row 6. And Nolan Blair said it tipped off the glass. I'm not sure that it did, though. I don't know about that one. I think the Grizzlies probably should argue that one a little bit more. Nolan Blair said it tapped off the glass, and if it did, it just barely glanced off the top of the glass. I saw it come into the stands cleanly, and Idaho is in their own zone. Utah probably should have a 5-on-3 for a minute 9. But nevertheless, it's still a 5-on-4 power play. Idaho wins the draw as Charlie Dodaro will backhand it airborne deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells cuts it off in front of his net. He gets to Pike, who skates around Utah's net with ease. Pike's got good speed. He'll drop it off as Grizzlies made a line change during the whistle as Reed Lepster will cross center ice. He skates in north-south, now veers off to the left, stops, speeds up top towards Pike. Across to Voigt in the high slot. Voigt will tap it off an Idaho skate, and it's gloved and dropped by Shea, who's got to go on 4 straight. Shea gets up top to Pike, who dances towards the high slot. Pike fakes a shot and gets to Lepster in the left wing. Lepster back to Pike. Lefty one-timer saved by Tefensi. Idaho clears it off the far wing boards, but not out. Voigt up top to Lepster. Late in the power play. Lepster gets towards Voigt left side. He'll take a righty shot and hits the post. Boy, Grizzlies have hit 3 or 4 posts here tonight. Voigt gets it towards Lepster on the left side. Lepster dancing around, trying to get towards Gratton, who faked a one-timer. Voigt runs it down to keep it in. Voigt gets tripped up, no call. Throws it to the middle of the ice for Ports for Idaho. Ports will throw it towards the near side as Hershuk's out of the box. He'll get it towards Jardine. Now Hershuk will race off the ice as Idaho for a few seconds has had 3 defensemen. Ahead towards Holmes. He's the lone goal scorer for Idaho. Skates around Utah's net towards the near side. Now he'll reverse it back towards the right wing. Grizzlies throw it up but not out. Jade Miller keeps it in. Right point. He sweeps the one towards the left corner. Anderson off the boards towards Holmes. Holmes shields Pike from the puck. He gets up top. Boltman, high slot, righty shot is blocked away by the right pad of Wells. Pearson gets spun around by Gratton, taking the puck and crossing center ice is Friesen. Now he accelerates, tries to get around Boltman. Friesen gets tripped up by Boltman, no call. And Anderson out towards center ice. Off a Genev stick, they were trying to get to Pearson. Now Pearson gets the puck. He'll lay it for Holmes. We get a whistle. And it looks like Idaho's offside as Pearson skated into the offensive zone, lost his balance, and came in before the puck. So Utah is now 0 for 2 on the power play. We're tied to 1, 8:38 left in the second. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 29-13, or 29-15. Evan Friesen will take the drives out there with Timofeyev and Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State. Grizzlies win the draw. A former Grizzlies making his NHL debut tonight. We'll tell you who is in the next whistle. As Chris Dodaro gets cut off by a Grizzly, Friesen throws it back towards the Idaho line. Now Friesen gets it at center ice. He gets back checked. Friesen over to the left wing. His shot's blocked by Punnett. Now the Grizzlies will bounce one towards the right side. Genev will whip one across. It ricochets off the boards. Punnett will sky it out to center ice. Puck bounces at the Utah line. Hanson Bucata gets out towards center ice. Idaho almost caught with too many on the ice as Gillette will bounce one towards Tefenski. Puck goes out to center ice. Mitch Wall gets a good shoulder check from Gansky. Gillette runs it down deep in the Grizzlies zone. Less than 8 minutes are left in the second period. We're tied at 1. Out to center ice, Griffin Ness dangling back and forth. Now we'll get it to GF, who pitches to the middle of the ice looking for Gansky. It's knifed away by Mitch Wall. Gansky gets it back to center ice. He'll skate into his own zone. As Gansky will get it out towards center ice looking for Manning. It goes past him all the way down for an icing with 7:36 left in the second period. Remember Hunter Skinner, who was a young defenseman for Utah during the 2020-21 season. He had 17 points, 7 goals, and 10 assists in 26 games. And then he later on played for Jacksonville during the 2022-23 season. Well, Hunter Skinner made his NHL debut for the St. Louis Blues tonight against Philadelphia. Skinner, when he was a Grizzly during the 2020-21 season, he was just 19 years old. And he has made it all the way to the National Hockey League. Grizzlies sky it out to center ice. Somehow missed the video board. Griffin Ness gets it down the middle of the ice. He'll take a righty shot that goes wide. So Hunter Skinner makes his Grizzlies debut tonight. Now left wing makes his NHL debut. He is the second different former Grizzly to make their NHL debut this season. Holmes tried to center it, but it goes behind Utah's net. Jardine flips it towards the left corner. Gansky will sky it out to center ice. Puck bounces at neutral ice towards Anderson, who gabbles it. Gobbles it, gabbles it. That's, well, we're speaking a new language here tonight. Ness whips it around the boards, but it's cut off by Anderson. Puck deep in the Idaho zone. Boltman back around. Anderson gets along the near side. Anderson's played a good game. He'll saucer out towards center ice. Too hot for Steinmetz to handle. Now Steinmetz races after a loose puck deep in the Grizzlies zone. Felton comes up with it as Pike jabbed it towards him. Felton down the middle of the ice, dangling back and forth. Backhand attempts is sticked away by Malmquist. He'll get it head towards Ports, but the puck goes back towards Malmquist. He gets it across as Boltman spins the puck along the boards. Anderson roulettes it back around behind Utah's net. Idaho look for a centering pass out in front of Malmquist. It goes between his legs and deep into the Steelhead zone. Steinmetz will drop it back for Malmquist. 6:14 on a moving clock, second period. We're tied at 1. Ports gains the offensive line on the back check. Voigt picked his pocket, but we get a whistle, and that's going to be a penalty on Ty Voigt. Slashing is going to be the call, and Voigt can't believe it, but he's going to go to the box for 2 minutes. Voigt looked like he picked the pocket of a Idaho player right near the Utah blue line, and Nolan Blair, the referee, called him for slashing. So it's going to be Idaho's first power play of the game. Steelheads are 10.2% on the power play this year. Grizzlies' penalty kill is 29 for 33 this season, a percentage of 87.9. Voigt gets 2 minutes for slashing, 13:51 into the second. Idaho does miss Ty Pelton-Bice, who's serving the last of a 9-game suspension this evening. Pelton-Bice will most likely be in the Idaho lineup tomorrow night at Idaho Central Arena against the Grizzlies. Utah will get back Rylan Kovacevic, who's serving the last of a 3-game suspension. Grizzlies win the draw. Salem will saucer it all the way towards Arno Tefensi. He'll drop it for Arcuri, who lets it go to Charlie Dodaro. Dodaro skates around Tefensi's net. Dodaro, the 33-year-old out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. So he'll get it towards center ice for Mitch Wall. Wall skates down the middle. He gets taken away. Gansky tattoos it off the glass. And the puck slides deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies will make a line change. 30 seconds into Idaho's first power play of the game. Arcuri accelerates over the offensive line. Taps one off the boards. Try to get it back. He gets taken away. And Tyler Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, clears it all the way out. Charlie Dodaro skates around his net. As he'll drop it off for Malmquist, who has good speed. Liam Malmquist with a right wing feed that goes tape to tape towards Ports. Ports drops it for Wall. Wall, the longtime veteran, 35 years old, gets it towards Malmquist in the right point. Back to Wall on the right side. Wall back over towards Malmquist. He's in the right circle. He spins around with Gratton nearby. Now up top to Anderson. Anderson slides to his left. Arcuri will take a lefty shot. It's blocked by Felton. Malmquist gets it in the right wing. He feeds it up top. Now to Anderson. Across to Malmquist in the right circle. Across to Arcuri. One-timer blocker saved by Wells. What a great stop by the Utah goaltender. Puck still alive. 2-on-2 scrum behind Utah's net. Getting it's Tyler Gratton, and he'll sail it all the way towards Tefensi. Well, Arcuri had a grade A chance on the left side, and Wells with a great blocker save denying Arcuri. Malmquist over the offensive line, gets it towards Ports. Ports feeds up top to Anderson, out to the left goal line for Holmes. Holmes can't spot it. Hanson Buchanan locates it. He gets our stride ahead of Holmes. About 10 seconds left in the power play. Grizzlies knife it away from Boltman. Tyler Gratton did the honors. He had an outstanding shift as he comes off the ice. Late in the power play, Tefensi slams his stick to the ice. Grizzlies are back at full strength. Good penalty kill by Utah. And one outstanding save by Dylan Wells denying Francisco Arcuri. Puck is bounced from neutral ice all the way towards Wells. He gets a skipping puck and holds on with 3:58 left in the second. Utah's outshot Idaho 30-15. Looked like for a second we're going to have a timeout, but we'll play on. 3:58 left in the second. Grizzlies have played pretty good hockey in the second periods of games this season. With the 1-0 advantage in this second period, Utah is outscoring opponents 11-7 in the second periods this season. In the series against Wichita, Grizzlies had a lot of success in these second periods. Grizzlies outscored opponents 5-1 last week against Wichita in the second period. Off the draw, punt, lefty shot, saved by Wells. He gobbles it around the logo on the front of his jersey. 3:56 is left in the second period, and we're tied at 1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
3:56 of the time remaining in the second period. Utah has outshot Idaho 31-16. Dylan Wells has been outstanding in net for the Grizzlies. He's made some grade A saves, especially in the second period. He denied Francisco Arcuri on a blocker save. Utah's 0 for 2 on the power play. Idaho's 0 for 1. Leading the shot count for Utah is John Gillette with 4 shots. Luke Salem, Stepan Timofeyev, Danny Genev, and Tyler Gratton each have 3 shots. Gratton, as Utah's lone goalie, scored 19 seconds into the second period with a couple Lukes. Luke Manning and Luke Salem getting the assists. They spell their first names differently. Luke Manning is Luke, and Luke Salem is Luc. Utah wins the draw. They're in their own zone, skating from left to right as Neil Shea accelerates like a bolt of lightning around punt it. Shea fired towards the net on a low liner that goes wide. As around the net goes Weinstein. Sage is his first name, Saige. Now Ricketts will bounce one towards the net, and it's sticked away by Punnett. Punnett throws it between Ricketts' legs. Dancing around is Jade Miller, and he'll flop one out towards center ice. Taking the puck is Caleb Pearson. He gets around 2 Grizzlies. Taking the puck away is Noah Gansky as Pearson tried to put a move on him. Now towards center ice, Grizzlies cross center. Genev like a bolt of lightning. Gets around one defender, and it's knifed away towards Mal. Genev gets it back. He'll throw it to the middle of the ice. Everybody kind of looking like they're moving in slow motion. Felton right side, righty shot. Saved by Defensi, and he holds on. As Nick Canati tries to get after a Grizzly, and that's Genev, who had the audacity of looking for a dirty, greasy goal. Canati's not a very big guy, 5'9", 165 pounds. But if anybody gets near his goaltender, he's going to go after him. Now Genev having some words for Hershuk. Genev looks like he's sporting a November mustache. Felton kind of a routine shot. And then Genev pushed Hershuk into the Idaho goaltender. And then everybody for Idaho going after Genev. A little bit of a hullabaloo out in front of the net. Priest will take the draw against Brendan Hoffman. Friesen in his first season as a pro. That three-man forward line's really played some outstanding hockey, and they're on the ice now. Timofeyev, Friesen, and Genev. Grizzlies have doubled up Idaho on the shot count, 32-16. Idaho wins the draw. Jardine will plop it forward about 10 feet, but not out. Genev to the left side. Take a lefty shot that goes wide. Puck ricochets towards the right wing. Now bouncing puck around by Hoffman. He crosses center ice, veers off to the right over the offensive line. He gets cut off by Timofeyev. Now Genev plays soccer towards the middle of the ice. Timofeyev out across center ice, and he'll throw it into the left corner. Timofeyev got knocked down by Jardine. Now Jardine gets pushed to the boards by Timofeyev. Holmes will pitchfork it out to center ice. Felton gets the puck. He crosses the center red line, overskates it, gets it back. Felton will whip it around. Cut off by Tefensi behind his net. Jardine will move it towards his right. Charlie Dodaro will sky it towards the Utah line. Puck hippity hops towards the far corner of the Grizzlies zone. Taken by Connor Kelly. Over to Buchanan, back towards Kelly, who's in his Grizzlies debut. Connor Kelly was reassigned to the Grizzlies from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Some action near center ice. I believe offside's a call. There's a monitor out in front of me, and it literally got in the way where I couldn't see what happened for about 10 feet. So draw's going to be in Idaho territory, neutral zone. Near dot as Griffin Ness will take it. He's out there with Ricketts and John Gillette. We're tied to 1. Grizzlies are only 5 shots away from tying a season high. They had 37 shots in the regular season opener against Greenville. Puck off Chris Dodaro's stick, and it rolls all the way towards Dylan Wells, who covers up. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone with 1:58 left in the second period. Like the top 2 games in terms of shots the Grizzlies had were the first 2 games of the season. 37 shots in a 3-1 victory at Greenville on October 17th, and 36 shots on October 18th at Atlanta, a game where the Gladiators won 3-2 in overtime. Ricketts will take the draw against Mitch Wall. 1:58 left in the second period. We're tied at 1. Both goaltenders looked outstanding. Off the draw, Idaho wins it. Boltman in the high slot, fires towards the net. It was kind of a changeup, and it's blocked by Hanson Bukata. We'll skate out to Neutris. We'll get it ahead to Ness. Ness over the offensive line. They'll spin it along the boards. John Gillette gets it. Now Ricketts skates down the middle of the ice, looking for a backhand attempt. He gets cut off, but a penalty is going to be on Idaho. Wells skates towards the bench. Kelly skates towards the high slot. Now he'll push it towards the left circle for Gillette. 6 in the offensive zone for Utah. Neil Shea left side, take a lefty shot and hits the post. Shea gets it back. That's at least the 4th or 5th post the Grizzlies have hit tonight. Hanson Bukata out to Neutris. He'll skate back into his own zone. Net is empty for Utah on a delayed penalty. Hanson Bukata throws it behind his back for Connor Kelly. Kelly, who's got good size, 6'2", 200 pounds. Over to Gratton. Gratton dances around. He's at Neutris. Gratton crosses the center red line. Throws to the middle of the ice where it's touched by Matt Anderson. So the whistle blows. Hooking is going to be the call. And the penalty is going to be on Idaho. So the Grizzlies will get their 3rd power play of the game. Going to the penalty box is Jake Boltman. His penalty minutes, 7 and 8 for Boltman on the season. His 3rd minor penalty. Actually, his 4th minor penalty. Math is hard sometimes. Then again, math and English have been pretty tough. I can't believe I got through high school. Tyler Gratton will take the draw. He's got Utah's lone goal tonight. That was 19 seconds into the second period. Webster and Voigt down low, and up top is Neil Shea and Garrett Pike. Had been Voigt that had been up top, and they switched spots with Voigt and Shea tonight on their power play unit. Idaho will bring it along the near side. It goes past Neil Shea and into the Grizzlies zone. Less than a minute left in the second period. Utah skis from left to right here in the frame. Pike accelerates around Hoffman. Now he'll chip it back towards Voigt. Voigt gets the puck, gets to Neutris. He veers off to the left. Now he crosses center ice. Skates over the offensive line left wing. Voigt will backhand it around the boards. Referee cuts off the pursuit of Sam Jardine. Webster gets it back towards Gratton off his stick towards Voigt. Now Gratton gets it back. He's got Utah's lone goal. He's wearing the captain's seat. 23 pro goals in his career. Over to Webster, back up top to Pike, who dances to his left. Pike will sweep one back to his right for Webster. Webster directs it to Pike in the high slot. Pike over to Shea. Shea will switch places with Pike. Skates with the high slot. Right shot saved by Tefensi. Rebound bouncing puck over Voigt's stick. Now it's up top to Shea. Left point across to Pike. 15 seconds left in the period. Over to Webster in the right wing. Lepster chips it back up top to Pike. Pike skates towards his left. Now back towards Lepster on the right wing. Lepster tries to force one in. It's blocked by Jardine's stick. 3 seconds left in the period. Pike fires towards the net, and it's sticked away by Idaho. And time runs out for Utah here in the second frame as the puck flies out of play into about row 8 of section 125. Where somebody in a Colorado Avalanche jersey and 2 others wrestle around for it. And it looks like some guy with long hair comes away with the frozen vulcanized rubber disc. So we're tied after 40 minutes of play. Tyler Gratton scored 19 seconds in. Utah had 20 shots in the first period and 13 in the second. Idaho had 10 shots in the first period and 6 in the second. Utah will be on the power play for the first 52 seconds of the third period. Well, Idaho's had some goaltending issues in their first 11 games of the season with just a team save percentage of .872. But Arno Defensi has done a great job keeping his team in it. Dylan Wells made some outstanding saves in the second period. He has stopped 15 of 16. We'll come back and recap the first 40 minutes of play and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. We got a good one here at Maverik Center. We're tied at 1, and for my money, it's one of the best rivalries in the league. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. We'll talk some hockey in 2 minutes. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
So we've got an entertaining one here at Maverik Center. As the Grizzlies and Steelheads are tied at 1 after 40 minutes of play. Idaho scored exactly 1 minute into the contest as Robbie Holmes scored on a centering pass from Matt Anderson. Also getting an assist is Charlie Dodaro. Exactly 1 minute in, Idaho took a 1-0 lead. So Idaho hasn't scored in exactly 39 minutes of play. Idaho actually took the first 5 shots of the game, and then the Grizzlies responded with just about the next 11 shots. All of a sudden, the Grizzlies were up to about 11 shots to Idaho's 5 in the first period. And the first period ended with Utah outshooting Idaho 20-10, but it was the Steelheads that scored the lone goal. Grizzlies came out with an outstanding shift to start the second period as Luke Salem took a shot from the left point, bounced off the goaltender, Tefensi, and then Luke Manning hacked away once, maybe twice off the Tefensi. Puck flipped into the air and then bounced in the crease. Tyler Gratton spotted it before Nick Canati could, and Gratton fired to pass the goal line for his second of the season. Luke Manning and Luke Salem picked up the assists. That was Gratton's 23rd professional goal. He had one for Reading at the end of the 2023-24 season, and then he led the Royals with 20 goals last year, and he now has 2 in a Utah uniform. So Gratton with the goal, and the 2 Lukes, Manning and Salem, with the assists. And it stayed a 1-1 game throughout the remainder of the second period. Idaho on their power play late in the second period had a pretty good look. Our Curry from the left wing trying to go stick side past Wells, and Wells made an outstanding blocker save to keep it a 1-1 tie. It was the best save that Wells has made all game. And late in the second period, Jake Boltman picked up a hooking minor, 18:52 in, and so Utah will be on the power play for the first 52 seconds of the third period. And if Utah has the first shift of the third period in a similar fashion to how they had a first shift in the second period, Grizzlies could take a 2-1 lead, and with the way both goaltenders have looked, that could end up making the difference in this game. Utah leads the shot count 33-16, and it's been a very balanced attack in terms of who's taking the shots for Utah. John Gillette and Danny Genev each lead the way with 4. Luke Salem, Timofeyev, Manning, and Christian Felton each have 3 shots. 2 shots each for Shea, Lebster, Jack Ricketts. Those 3 have 2 shots, and then a few others with 1 shot on goal through 40 minutes. For Idaho, it's very balanced in there, 16 shots. Connor Punnett leads the way with 3. Francisco Arcuri, Angus McDonnell, and Chris Tadero each have 2. Then a few other Steelheads with 1 shot. And it was Arcuri who had that great look, as we mentioned in the second period, that was denied on a blocker save by Dylan Wells. And that was on Idaho's second period power play. And that was, I'd say, with about 5 minutes left in the second frame. We got a really good crowd. This rivals about the 5,700 that we had here at Maverik Center for the home opener on October 25th when the Grizzlies took on the Idaho Steelheads. A lot of action in the league. Let's go over the scores. There's only 1 game left in progress, but it looks like that one has just gone final. Wichita defeats Kansas City 6-3 as Noah Beck scored 2 goals. Declan Smith also had 2 goals for Wichita. Blackwell and Huell each found the back of the net as well. As Wichita gets their 4th victory of the season, Kansas City falls to 7-4. Bloomington defeats Iowa 3-1. Former Tulsa Oiler Eddie Matsushima scored an empty netter, 1950 in. So Bloomington gets their 3rd win of the year. Toledo gets a 5-2 victory over Cincinnati. Toledo had 2 goals in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. Wheeling gets a 5-1 victory over Maine. Worcester defeats Trois-Rivières 6-4. South Carolina defeats Guy Carenza and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators. Kupka scored the lone goal of the game, and that was 9:54 into the second period for South Carolina. Stingrays go to 8-3 on the season. Atlanta falls to 8-2. Savannah defeats Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals 5-2. Florida gets a game-winning goal from former Grizzly Kyle Bett, 17:49 in. Bett scored with 2:11 left in regulation. That was a game winner as the Everblades defeat the Swamp Rabbits 3-2. Ryan O'Reilly, no, not that Ryan O'Reilly, scored both goals for the Swamp Rabbits in the loss. Comets defeat the Wings 5-3 in a game played at Wings Event Center. Fort Wayne gets a 2-goal victory over Kalamazoo. Indy gets a 3-0 shutout victory over Rapid City, a game played in Fishers, Indiana, hometown of Mike Fulta. For Indy, it was Flores who picked up a 22-save shutout. Indy outshot Rapid City 29-22. In the battle of former Grizzly staff members, Greensboro defeats Tahoe 2-0. Greensboro's athletic trainer is Colin Lee, who spent the previous 5 seasons as the Grizzlies athletic trainer. And Jackson Hibbert is the Tahoe equipment manager. So I'm pretty sure they had some fun stuff after last night's game, and they're probably going to chat after tonight's game as well. Colin Lee gets the better of Jackson Hibbert as Greensboro defeats Tahoe 2-0. And one other final in overtime, Adirondack defeats Reading 4-3. We'll go over the 4 NHL games. There's a former Grizzly who made his NHL debut tonight with the St. Louis Blues. We'll tell you who he is on the other side. After 2 periods here at Maverik Center, we're tied at 1. Don't forget, Utah will be on the power play for the first 52 seconds of the third period. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
For NHL games tonight, one of them involved a former Grizzly making his NHL debut. I don't know if you remember Hunter Skinner, who played with the Grizzlies during the 2020-21 season. He was a defenseman who at that time in 2021, he was just 19 years old. And so you knew that he was somebody that long-term you thought could have a chance of reaching the NHL. He had a ton of talent then and still has a ton of talent. He's now 24 years old, and he's made it all the way to the National Hockey League as he made his NHL debut tonight with the St. Louis Blues. He had 10 minutes and 45 seconds worth of ice time. He played 16 shifts. He had 4 hits, 1 block, and was a +1. He wore number 48 for the Blues tonight, and St. Louis lost in a shootout 6-5 to the Philadelphia Flyers. So congratulations to Hunter Skinner. He is the second former Grizzly defenseman to make his NHL debut this season. Obviously, the great Charles-Edward Nastu made his NHL debut a few weeks ago with the Tampa Bay Lightning. 4 games in the NHL, Flyers and Blues were one of them. The shootout game winner was scored by Trevor Zegras as Philadelphia defeated St. Louis 6-5. 2 other finals in the National Hockey League. Hurricanes get an overtime game winner from Sebastian Aho as Carolina defeats Vancouver 4-3. And Nashville got a 2-1 victory over Pittsburgh. Steven Stamkos scored the OT game winner 44 seconds in with Brady Shea getting the assist. And so Nashville, a game played in Sweden, they defeat Pittsburgh 2-1. And after 2 periods over at Delta Center, the team in Salt White, Rock Black, and Mountain Blue lead 2-1. Neither team scored in the second period. Heineman gave New York a 1-0 lead. He got his 8th of the year, 7-13 in. J.J. Peterka tied it up for Utah. He scored 13:02 win with Lawson Krause and John Marino getting the assist. And then on a power play, Dylan Gunther got his 7th of the year with Sergachev and Keller getting the assist. That was 18:35 into the first period. Mammoth have outshot the Islanders 23-13. And after 2 periods, Utah leads New York 2-1. Busy night in the National Hockey League tomorrow evening. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, are not in action tonight, and they are not in action tomorrow. The Avalanche's next game is on Sunday at 7 o'clock when they host the New York Islanders. Avalanche are off to a great start this season. They've got a record of 12-1-5. Islanders have a record of 9-6-2. So that's the 4 games in the National Hockey League. And once again, we congratulate Hunter Skinner, the former Grizzly who played with Utah during the 2020-21 season. He made his NHL debut tonight and was a +1 for the Blues against the Philadelphia Flyers. Everybody having a good time. People at the concession stands. We got a pretty good Friday night crowd. It's either the second largest crowd of the regular season for the Grizz or it's the largest. This kind of rivals what we saw on opening night, or the home opener on October 25th, when the Steelheads defeated the Grizzlies 4-2. It was interesting how in the second period, a great shift by Utah turned into a goal 19 seconds in, with Granton scoring with the two Luke, Salem, and Manning getting the assists. Utah's probably hoping for a similar type jump in the first shift of the third period this evening when you're talking about, being on the power play for the first 52 seconds. So we'll probably see a lot of Neil Shea. He's got a goal in 4 straight games. He leads Utah with 3 power play goals. Garrett Pike's played a pretty good game. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists this season. Can Pike and Shea do something to combine for a goal here to give Utah a 2-1 lead? We're tied at 1. Simbacam is ongoing here on the Maverik Center ice. In terms of scoring chances, the Grizzlies have 33 shots. 20 of them are considered scoring chances. For the Idaho Steelheads, they have 16 shots, and 9 are considered to be scoring chances. Hey, if you're at home, do the Simbacam. It's one of the fun things. You just take a youngster or take somebody that maybe isn't so young, just lift them up like it's Simba, and you can have some fun with it. Do it at home. If you're in your car, probably wait till you get home and then do a Simbacam on a Friday night. There's nothing more fun on a Friday night than a Simbacam. When we come back in 1 minute, we will have third period action. Grizzlies will be on the power play the first 52 seconds. First of a 3-game set. Both teams will get on the bus after tonight's game and head to Boise for games tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Idaho Central Arena and Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. We'll come back and have third period action in 1 minute. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
We're about set for third period action here at Maverik Center as we're tied at 1. We got a barn burner here in the first of a 3-game series. Both teams will get on the bus after the game and head to Boise for action tomorrow night at 7 o'clock and Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Grizzlies will start the third period on the power play for 52 seconds. Idaho's penalty kill is normally towards the top of the league, but coming into play tonight, just 79.5%. So see who starts at third period for the Grizzlies. I got to imagine it's going to be the 5-man unit of Tyler Granton, Neil Shea, Reed Lebster, Jack Ricketts, and Garrett Pike. Would be a little bit different. We had been seeing Ty Voigt on this power play unit, but it looks like Jack Ricketts is going to be out there taking Voigt's spot. Watch out for Jack Ricketts. He had a couple good looks in the first period. Ricketts right now has 2 shots on goal, and both of those were grade A chances. So the party of 5 for Utah to start the third period once again will be Granton, Lebster, Ricketts, Shea, and Pike. 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. The 4 tires on Idaho's penalty kill is going to be Brendan Hoffman with Caleb Pearson, Sam Jardine, and Charlie Dodaro. 20 minutes are put on the third period clock, and we're underway. As unfortunately, Flow Sports had been seeing me until action as the puck is dropped and Pearson will sell it all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. Pike gets the puck. He's behind Dylan Wells' net. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 33-16. Neil Shea gets it. He'll drop it for Lebster. Lebster fakes to his right. Now he'll chip it to his left for Shea at the Idaho line. Shea will bounce one towards Arnon Tefensi. He's played a pretty good game for Idaho. Shea sweeps it up top to Pike. Pike skates towards his right near the blue line. Pike with the blue line under his feet. We'll get it towards Lebster. Lebster will chip it towards the right side. Grizzlies very patient with their approach. Shea gets to Pike. Now back to Shea on the right wing. Shea feathers it across, and it ricochets off the stick. Gets some air under it, and it's gloved by Tefensi in the crease. 8 seconds are left in the power play as Grizzlies will switch up with a 5-man unit, reminiscent of what you normally see in 5-on-5 situations. Like Grizzlies are very patient with their approach, looking for the perfect shot. Grizzlies have really done a good job in their power plays, working the puck around and trying to find the open shooter. They've been very patient with their approach here so far tonight. Grizzlies win the draw. We're tied at 1. Timofeyev gets towards Genev, as well as slams a stick to the ice. Out of the box is Boltman. High slot shot by Kelly, saved by Tefensi. Dancing around right side. Righty shot is helicoptered. Blocked by Tefensi. That shot was taken by Timofeyev from the right point. Puck goes up top. Kelly drifts it ahead. He's a former 7th-round pick by Chicago back in 2021. Back around the boards. Hanson Bukata ahead to Friesen. Friesen over center ice. Now he steps over the offensive blue. Left side will take a lefty shot. It's kicked away by Tefensi. Grizzlies have the puck slide out to center ice. Felton takes a shot. Skates towards the Idaho line, and he'll drift it in. Connor Punna gets the puck. He's got 3 shots so far tonight. He'll drop it off as he still had spread the ice in their own zone. Rink wide feed angle right. Goes tape to Kanadi. Kanadi gets ahead looking for McDonnell. It goes past him all the way down for an icing with 18:22. That's the time remaining here in the third period. Grizzlies have taken each of the first 3 shots of this third period. They're up to 36 on the night. Time for the second most they've had in a game this season, which also came on October 18th. The most shots the Grizzlies have had in a game this season was the season opener in Greenville, where they had 37 shots. Draw taken by Manning and won by Utah as Grattan gets up top. Felton will chip it over to Lebster. Lebster back to Felton in the high slot. He'll take a righty shot, and it goes just wide looking for Pike, and Pike did redirect it as puck goes over to Felton. Felton collides with Hershuk. Manning will spin it around the boards to Lebster behind Idaho's net. Lebster stops reverse his field, and he gets it taken away from behind by Connor Punnett. Puck bounces towards the right corner. Now Manning gets it back. Manning across to Lebster. One-timer, and it goes just wide. As Manning gets pushed in the back by Steinmetz. Manning keeps his feet. He'll sweep one towards the middle of the ice, and it's knifed away by Kanadi as the puck wobbles on its side deep into the Grizzlies zone. And it's going to be icing on Idaho with 17:43 left in the third. So the Grizzlies are going to have an offensive zone draw. Now I got to imagine all 3 games in this series are going to be pretty similar to this one. A close game. Goals are going to be at a premium. Idaho's certainly been working on the defensive side of things. They released goaltender Nolan Meyer and signed Jake Barczewski, the former Grizzly, who led Utah in victories last season. Barczewski not in the lineup tonight. He's the 3rd goaltender. I don't know if we'll see him later on this weekend or not. Draws over in the right circle. Friesen wins it against Mitch Wall. Grizzlies will slide it towards Salem. Left side, he helicopters it towards the net. It goes wide. Griffin Ness tried to play it. If he would have, it would have been with a high stick. Puck goes past McDonnell, but he gets a piece of it. Grizzlies run it down. Salem gets it behind Utah's net. Salem back towards Gansky, the former Fort Wayne Comet. Ed to Gillette off his stick. Racing after the puck is Griffin Ness. Getting there's Boltman. Puck slides towards Friesen right side. Trying to center it to Ness. And it's poked away by Mitch Wall in a good defensive effort. Friesen gets to the right side, but it goes past Gansky and all the way down deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells cuts it off at the far goal line deep in the Grizzlies zone. He gets it towards Salem. Salem slices it off the near wing wall to Ness. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. Ness gets it ahead to Boltman. Boltman will lift it out to center ice. Bounced off in Ness's glove. Shea throws it back in. Grizzlies make a change. As the Steelheads get it with Jake Boltman wearing number 44. Boltman, a native of Edina, Minnesota. Ahead towards Cristodero off his stick. Pike around the boards towards Voigt. Voigt skates towards the right wing. Now gets to neutral ice. He'll pin it towards the right side looking for Shea. It goes past him. Shea got a stick in the way. Ricketts over towards Shea. Trying to get it back towards Ricketts, who was occupied by Boltman. Idaho comes out with the puck. Pearson, long range feed angle left. Off a stick, stays in play. As ricocheted off our Curry stick. Puck to the right corner deep in the Grizzlies zone. Hoffman battles with Weinstein. Now the puck goes to the middle of the ice. Anderson will ring it off the board. He's trying to get to Holmes, but didn't have a passing angle. Anderson comes off the ice. Puck slides up top. Charlie Dodaro on the right point. Fires a righty shot. Gets redirected and goes looking for a redirection. Goes wide as it helicoptered past Wells off the assist of no stick. As puck goes to the middle of the ice, Weinstein clears it back to center. Idaho resets. Charlie Dodaro will get it towards Holmes. Holmes will roll it in. Pearson chases after he gets there beforehand to Mukata. Now Pearson to the left wing. He'll take a righty shot, and it's blocked. Pearson gets it back in the right wing. He fires the righty shot, and that's blocked away before it got towards Wells in the butterfly position. Grizzlies sky it just under the video board as puck, if it would have lifted another 10 feet, would have ended up in the heavens. Pearson to the right side, or at least the rafters of some kind, probably hitting a catwalk out towards center ice. And you can't say catwalk here on Pucks and Pups night. Or maybe you can. I just did. I don't know. Punt it out towards... Well, Punnett tried to move it ahead and fanned on it. Jardine gets the puck as the Steelheads get it back towards Punnett. He's on the far side. Blue line to blue line pass. Tape to tape to Ports off his stick as the Grizzlies had a couple bodies nearby. Utah 2-on-2 if they wanted. Genev to the right side. Centers it towards Friesen. It's blocked away by Malmquist. Puck kicks towards the Idaho goaltender, and it's covered up by Tefensi. He holds on. 14:54 left in the third, and the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. Fans making a lot of noise. We have a good Friday night crowd. Potentially the largest home crowd we've seen this season. Manning will take the drives out there with Lubster and Gratton, and up top is Gansky and Luke Salem. Draw one by Utah. Lubster to the right side, fires to the net. It goes wide. Actually, it looked like he was redirecting it around the boards towards the left side. Salem spins it back around. Puck goes to the right corner. Malmquist runs it down. Idaho spreads the ice. Malmquist will zip it ahead, angle right. As it goes towards Punnett. Punnett gets ahead towards Ports. Ports around Utah's net. Now towards the far side. Ports will bounce it off of Malmquist. Grizzlies come back the other way. Gratton had to sidestep Punnett. Now down the middle of the ice. Idaho skates in. Lefty shot saved by Wells. Now Punnett lifts it and shovels it all the way out of play. So he got too much air under it. 14:21 left in the third. Well, a good save by Dylan Wells as the Steelheads were able to nudge it ahead towards Ports. And Wells made some key saves. He stopped 16 of 17, and a few of them have been highlight type of saves. Ports got it ahead towards Malmquist. Malmquist tried to veer towards his left, towards the right ankle of Dylan Wells, and Wells just closed the door instantly. Wells used to play with the Steelheads, and he had a very successful win-loss record as a member of the Steelheads. Grizzlies win the draw. Felton will tap it off the glass. Puck goes towards center ice. Pearson, as Pearson gets belted by Timofeyev. Pearson yelling and wanting a penalty. Pearson gets across center ice. As Pearson continues this conversation with Nolan Boyer. As Pearson got belted by Timofeyev. Left point, lefty shot. Glove saved by Wells. That shot was taken by Matt Anderson. Exactly 14 minutes are left in the third period, and we're tied at 1. Pearson continuing his conversation with Nolan Boyer. Now Nick Canati skates in front of Boyer, probably saying a few words. Pearson looks like he's going to stay on the ice. Pearson, Miller, and Canati are the three forwards for Idaho. And for the Grizzlies, Griffin Ness is out there with Timofeyev and John Gillette. Draw one by Idaho as Pearson tries to get around three Grizzlies, and Pike tries to muscle his way around Pearson. Pearson and Pike collide over on the right side. Oh, Pearson's still furious and hot. And now he collides with Timofeyev. And now Pearson's out to center ice. Idaho's got the puck in their own end. 13 and a half minutes left in the third period. We're still tied at 1. Now we get a whistle. Well, Pearson, I think, continued to stay red hot. Now I think he's picked up a penalty. Now Nick Canati's going after John Gillette, trying to get him to lose his cool. Pearson still has lost his cool. He's going to the box. You knew that was going to happen. You could see it coming. Pearson was furious, and play had stopped. He stayed on the ice with the other forwards on his shift, Miller and Canati, and you knew that the Grizzlies were just looking, and you knew that Pearson was skating around looking. And Pearson stayed red hot to the point where he picked up a penalty. Utah will be on the power play when we come back. We're tied at 1, 13:38 left in the third. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise, and we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
13:38 left in the third period. Caleb Pearson gets 2 minutes for slashing, 6:22 into the third. Grizzlies have Ricketts out there with Lobster. Granton out to Shea, right side. A shot saved by Defensi. Puck goes back towards Shea. Shea battles with Charlie Dodaro. 2-on-2 scrum. Ricketts joins the play. Taking the puck is Hoffman. It slides off his stick out to center ice. Grizzlies reset. Lobster gets head to Ricketts. We're tied at 1. Ricketts gets around 1. Tried to center towards Granton. It's tipped away by Jake Boltman. Boltman along the near side gets taken away by Lepster. Lepster skates in. He gets it tapped away. Oh, penalty's going to be on Idaho. We're going to get a 5-on-3 power play. Pike over towards Lepster, right, left side. His shot is blocked by Boltman. Lepster gets it back. Lepster will bounce one across towards Shea off his skate. And it's touched up by Nick Ports. Slashing is going to be the call, and the Grizzlies will have a 5-on-3 power play for 1:17. Jake Boltman can't believe it, but he's going to the box. 12:55 left in the third period. And Ryan Anderson's got a clipboard out. The Grizzlies use their timeout officially. Anderson talking with his 5-man unit. No timeout for the Grizzlies, but Anderson did get some time to drop a play. Party of 5 for the Grizzlies on the ice will be Tyler Granton, the Grizzlies captain. He's out there with Ricketts, Shea, Lepster, and Pike. Critical sequence in this game. 5-on-3 power play for 1:17. Pearson's in the box. 2 minutes for slashing. Boltman's in the box. 2 minutes for slashing. And those penalties were 43 seconds apart. Jack Ricketts will take the draw against Jade Miller. Now Ricketts is kicked out of the circle. Tyler Granton will take the face-off. Grizzlies have 38 shots. Idaho's taken 17. Draw one by the Grizzlies. They get it up top to Pike, but it goes past him into the Grizzly zone. Wells will drop it off for Garrett Pike. He'll nudge it ahead to Neil Shea. Grizzlies race to Idaho ice. Shea gets it across the right wing. Ricketts dancing around across the Lepster. Off his stick, Lepster regathers it along the left wing boards. He'll lay it for Pike. Pike back to Lepster, is now on the right wing. Lepster slides it across. It's picked off by Charlie Dodaro, and he'll sky it out of play, or in play, as ricochets out of the Steelhead zone. Ricketts out to neutralize, crosses center ice, right wing. He'll drop it as Granton gets it across to Shea. Shea skates towards the left circle. Dagger lefty shot, and it's blocked away. Grizzlies skate in, and bouncing puck in the crease. Boyer was out of position. He had no clue where the puck was, and it looks like it's still a 1-1 game. 30 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Shea took a shot from the left side, and it looked like Defensi got something with a blocker, and then the puck hipping out towards the crease. Hoffman and company were just occupying space in the crease. Grizzlies were trying to hack away. Ricketts was over there. He got knocked down. Laying on the puck was Defensi. And we're still tied. 12:08 left in the third. Grizzlies are up to 39 shots. Idaho has taken 17. The Pearson penalty looked like he might have gone south of the border on a Grizzly. League might have to take an extra look at that one. That's why he's in the box 2 minutes. So Everett Sheen's going to have a conversation with Nolan Boyer and one of the linesmen. Grizzlies made a change during the last whistle. 30 seconds left in the 5-on-3. The five-man unit for the Grizzlies having a conversation. Manning, Ness, Genev, Timofeyev, and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. 5-on-3 power play, 12:08 left in the third period. Draws going to be in the left circle. It's an offensive zone face-off for the Grizzlies. Draw, Manning gets it, he throws it towards Hansen-Bukata across to Timofeyev. He tried to get it towards Manning, it glanced off the stick and rolls towards the Idaho end boards. Hansen-Bukata slides one across and ricochets. Timofeyev somehow kept it into the right side. Puck slides around the boards. Manning gets up top to Bukata. Across to Timofeyev. 10 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Timofeyev will slide one to the left goal line for Manning. Manning tries to force one to Ness. It glanced off the stick. Goaltender might have gotten a piece of it. Coming out of the box is Pearson. And now we're skating 5-on-4. Utah still on a power play. Ness fires a shot, a score! Stepan Timofeyev scores, and it's now a 2-1 game. Timofeyev gets his third of the year and second in the Utah uniform. And Griffin Ness with the main assist as he was hanging out the right goal line, centered into a cutting Timofeyev who roofed it right over to Fency. This Maverik Center crowd's going crazy as they now lead 2-1. Ness won a battle in the corner. Just a beautiful centering pass to Timofeyev, and Timofeyev slid it past the goal line. Right now there's just one assist on the play, and it's Griffin Ness. Time of goal, 8:27 in. So now we're going to skate 5-on-5. So Utah's got a 2-1 lead. They've outshot Idaho 40-17. Let's get the goal announcement from Mark Larson.
Oh, Grizzlies! Scoring his third goal of the season on the power play, number 10, Stepan Timofeyev. Assisted by number 77, Griffin Ness.
11 minutes left in regulation. Action deep in the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies take it away. Right side, Gillette with a lefty shot that goes wide. Voigt gets pinned to the boards. Puck goes out to center ice. Or Curry gets around Gansky. Grizzlies knife it away. Great defensive effort by Luke Salem in the slot. As the puck slides deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies have a 2-1 lead, and now they're looking to find a way to protect it. Idaho will get it out towards the right side. Dancing around Malmquist. Steps over the offense line. Jumps around Pike. Felton gets the puck. He'll spin it along the boards. Left side. Idaho fires it wide. That shot was taken by Sam Jardine. Puck is skied into Idaho ice. Jardine gets the puck. He'll move it to his left. He was trying to get towards Steinmetz, who couldn't reach it. Steinmetz 5'8" and 173 pounds. Icing on Idaho with 10:08 left in the third. Grizzlies have really taken a ton of pride in their defensive efforts so far this season. They work on it constantly in practice. One of the things they work on is those battles along the boards. And that one paid off there with Griffin Ness winning a 50-50 puck. Got the puck and just found an open Timofeyev down the middle of the ice for Utah's second goal. Grizzlies have it in new tries. Halfway through the third period, Grizzlies lead 2-1. Utah out towards new tries. Skating over the offensive line is Lebster. Drops for Manning on the right point. He gets belted to the boards. Idaho crosses center ice 2-on-3. As they get it towards Miller, who dumps it in. Steinmetz tries to jump around Hansen-Bukata, and Bukata holds his ground. Grizzlies get over to Gansky, who gets around Holmes. Lebster crosses center ice. He dumps it in. Lebster pretty similar size to Gansky. Gansky goes 6'7", but Lebster looks to be a good 6'2", 6'3". Holmes hits Weinstein up high. Weinstein wants a call to be none to be had. Genev back towards the right side. Grizzlies are in the offensive zone. Genev will kick it to the right side. Bounced off a stanchion. A backhand shot. Saved by Tefensi. Boy, the puck hit kind of that corner there where the boards open up with a Zamboni tunnel. Slid towards the middle of the ice. And a backhand attempt by Timofeyev. And somehow Tefensi made the save to keep it a 2-1 game. 9 minutes, 11 seconds left in the third. The Grizzlies have that forward line of Geneva, Friesen, and Timofeyev on the ice. And what an addition Stepan Timofeyev has been in a Grizzlies uniform. Draw one by Idaho. They tattoo it off the near boards. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the period. Weinstein ahead to Timofeyev, who brushed it ahead about 10 feet. Idaho comes back up with it. Skating across the offense line. Hoppin right side or left side. He'll take a righty shot that's blocked away by Wells off his right shoulder. Hoffman gets it up top towards Punnett. Punnett loses control of the puck. Timofeyev clears it into the Idaho zone. And it's going to be icing on Utah with 8:46 left in the third. So Drown's going to come back towards Dylan Wells. He has saved 17 of 18. Grizzlies have outshot Idaho 41-18. The 41 shots are a season high for Utah. Idaho wins the draw. They're in the offensive zone. Canadi in the area with Pike. Canadi dancing around. He feeds up top. We get a whistle, and a hand pass was called on Idaho. Nick Canadi can't believe it. He's inconsolable. He can't believe it as he motions. So does Chris Dodaro. Both of those guys can't believe it. But the draw is going to come back to neutral ice. Jade Miller is inconsolable as well. Miller will take the draw against Utah's Jack Ricketts. Ricketts, a guy that can play on both ends of the ice. He was a plus 40 in his last two college seasons, plus 18 for Holy Cross in the 2023-24 campaign, and a plus 22 for Quinnipiac University last season. Action deep in the Grizzly zone. Over in the far corner as Idaho won the face-off. Puck from the scrum all the way towards Wells. Shot saved by Wells with 8:18 left in the third. Boy, somehow there was a 3-on-2 scrum out there in the corner. Then out of the scrum, or really the puck never got out of the scrum. It just came from the scrum all the way on a shot to Wells, who made the stop. So face-off's going to be over in the left circle of the Grizzly zone. Utah trying to buckle down defensively. As Skip Carey, the old Braves announcer, would say, a little insurance wouldn't hurt. Utah's looking for some insurance, and Idaho's looking for the tying goal. Jade Miller kicked out of the face-off circle, and once again, he's unhappy. Nick Canadi, the Idaho captain, will take the face-off. Draw one by Idaho. Miller gets up top to Boltman. Skating is Griffin Ness. The puck goes out to neutralize. Boy, Ness has played a strong two-way game. He got the main assist on the Timofeyev goal, and he's been outstanding for the Grizzlies so far this season on both ends of the ice. Anderson gets towards the right side for Boltman, tape to tape. Boltman dangles back and forth. He steps over the offensive blue. Back around the boards. Miller tries to center it towards Chris Dodaro, and it's picked off by Utah. Grizzlies will pitchfork it out to center ice. Anderson gets it towards Boltman in the right wing. Boltman ahead towards Miller off his stick. Gansky hustles after the loose puck. They'll slide it across along the far wing boards towards Ricketts. Ricketts moves it out to center ice. Idaho resets. Still heads with the puck as Charlie Dodaro moves to his right. Over the offense lines, Nick Canadi, who shields Salem from the puck. Canadi stops, reverses his field. Now he feeds up top. High slot. Jardine lefty shot goes wide. Puck ricochets off the glass. It's the outside back of the net. And the net gets kicked open with 7:25 left in the third. So draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. 2-1 Utah. And if you joined us late and missed the second intermission, former Grizzly Hunter Skinner made his NHL debut with the St. Louis Blues. Skinner was with the Grizzlies during the 2020-21 season. Manning will take the draw in the right circle against Idaho's Mitch Wall. Draw one by Utah. As Pike will tap it towards the corner. Grizzlies sky it and it stays in play off the glass. It's going to be icing, though, on Utah. As Salem is paired up with Pike. As Grizzlies with an odd number of forwards and an odd number of defensemen. And Utah's really had to make some tough choices as to who plays and who doesn't on the blue line. As Colby Enns is a scratch tonight, and Enns is a quality defenseman. Draws in the left circle. Manning for the Grizzlies and Wall for the Steelheads. Wall has a little bit of a size advantage. Manning crouches down low. Luke Manning scored last Friday in the Grizzlies' most recent game against the Wichita Thunder. Grizzlies have outshot Idaho 41-19. Manning wins the draw and goes on to Wells. He kicks it away, and Pike will tap it off the glass. Shea lets it go to center ice. Ness tries to corral it, but couldn't. Sam Jardine skates around his net with the puck. Jardine will loft it to center ice. It goes off of Felton's glove. Gratton will pitch it into the seats. Out of play with an even 7 minutes left in the third period. So faceoffs can be near the Grizzlies bench. John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson talking things over with his team. Buchanan looking for his 5th victory as Grizzlies head coach. Earlier this week, former Grizzly head coach Jason Christie was one of 4 people elected to the ECHL Hall of Fame, class of 2026. At center ice, Charlie Dodaro skies it. It's gloved by Wells, who snatched it over his shoulder. He holds on with 6:53 left in the third, and Idaho will have an offensive zone draw. Tomorrow night, Grizzlies will be in Boise to take on the Steelheads. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. Wall will take the draw against Manning. Kind of an extended shift for both Manning and Wall. Draw won by Idaho. Malmquist feeds it across. Left wing, man Anderson fires towards the net. Saved by Wells. It trickles past him, and Wells covers up along the far goal line. Kind of a similar instance that we saw in the first period with the Idaho goaltender a couple times. Kind of ricocheting off the side, kind of laying near the goal line. That one was towards the outside of the cage, and Wells was able to spot it and locate it and cover up. 6:46 left in the third. Grizzlies have doubled up Idaho on the shot count. Boltman gets on the right side. Idaho wins the faceoff. Boltman's shot's blocked by Gratton. Webster tries to clear it out. Anderson gets there first and keeps it in. Now the puck slides to center ice. Anderson accepts. He skates towards the Idaho blue line. He'll move it to his right. Ports over to Malmquist. Now Wall on the right side. Wall will skip one in as it ricochets off the Grizzlies' backboard. Now Boltman in the right point extends to keep it in the right point. Boltman back around towards Wall. Wall thought about centering it, instead feeds it back up top to Anderson. Now back to Wall at the left goal line. Tries to sweep one towards Malmquist, and it's knifed away by Pike on a good defensive play. Malmquist across. Webster gets a stick in the way as the puck hit the opposite in the left corner. Webster gets the puck and he'll race out to neutralize. Webster 2-on-3 crosses center. Grizzlies make a change around him. Webster gets tripped up around 4 Steelheads. Webster wants to call. He slams a stick on the ice, none to be had. Nolan Boyer at times has just let them play. Idaho still in their own zone as Matt Anderson will move it to his right. Holmes across center ice. He'll dump it in. Holmes gets around Hanson Bukata. Holmes closes the gap and he belts Connor Kelly, who's making his Grizzlies debut wearing number 74. He's got a good size-speed ratio. Holmes, he's over in the left corner. He's engulfed by Hanson Bukata. Sharp-angled shot by Wall. Saved by Wells. Puck still alive. Curry rolls one back around. Kelly behind the net. He gets it taken away. Idaho centers it and it's kicked away by Freese and it stays in. Punt it. Throws it towards his left. It's taken away. Genev over towards Timofeyev. Back to Genev. Genev to the right side. Takes a lefty shot. Glove saved by Defensi. He holds on with 5:12 left in the third. Utah leads 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
We've had a fun one here at Maverik Center as the Grizzlies lead 2-1, 5:12 is the time remaining, third period. Idaho scored exactly 1 minute into the contest. Holmes got his second of the year. Anderson and Charlie Dodaro with the assist. Grizzlies tied it up 19 seconds into the second period. Grattan got his second of the year. The two Lukes, Manning and Salem, with the assists. Grizzlies hoped that the game winner was scored 8:27 into the third. Timofeyev got it, with Griffin Ness gained the assist. It was a 5-on-4 power play goal. Holmes around as the Steelheads are in the offensive zone. They tried to sweep it up top and didn't get much on it. Gillette out towards center ice, dumps it in. Gillette, the first-year pro out of Holy Cross. He comes off the ice as Punnett. The bounce went off a Hershuk stick. Aiden Hershuk will race out to neutral ice across the center red line, and he'll skip it in. Wells, who's played a good game, he has saved 19 of 20, gets towards Pike. Pike around the boards towards Shea at center ice. He's near the scores table. He gains center ice, try to get it ahead to Lebster. It's taken away by Idaho. Crossing center ice, Jardine will whip it in. Pike around the boards. He'll bounce one off of Hoffman's glove. It stays in play. Shea ahead to Lebster, who gets to cross center ice. Lebster out towards his left, trying to get it to Manning. Delayed offside, it's taken away by Idaho. Charlie Dodaro gets momentum. Fakes it towards Canati. Now he stops near the right corner. Dodaro cycles it around as Felton gets the puck. He gets hit in the back by Canati, who delivers some lumber. Jade Miller trying to center it out in front and glance up a Grizzly stick. Hoffman tries to center it. Pinballs around. Now it goes up top to Dodaro. Charlie Dodaro, high slide. He'll take a little righty shot, and that's sticked away by Grattan, and it flies out of play with 3:51 left in the third. So draws give me the Grizzlies zone, and Utah has really played a strong game defensively. And Utah really, this season, has taken a ton of pride in their defensive work. John Buchanan, he's obsessed with shutouts and great defensive performances, and the Grizzlies have put together one here so far tonight. In Idaho, they have to like the way their defensive units look. They have allowed 42 shots, but they're getting a good performance from Arno Defensi as well. Drop one by Idaho. They're in the offensive zone. Utah leads 2-1. Smoke him if you got him. Anderson on the right point. Gets it across as Boltman will pitch it towards the left corner. Arcuri cycles it around. Miller gets challenged behind Utah's net by Hanson Bukata. Puck's taken by Utah. Grizzlies cross center ice with a little bit of momentum as chipping in Timofeyev. Genev chases after it, but goes back towards Jake Boltman. Friesen will tap it off of Boltman. Boltman gets the puck, and he'll slide it to the middle of the ice. Anderson ahead, angle left. Goes towards center ice. Grizzlies challenge it. Now Noah Gansky gets the puck. Gansky ahead towards Manning off his stick. Genev will pitch it in. Genev will come off the ice, as does Francisco Arcuri. About 3 minutes are left in the third period. Utah leads 2-1. Boltman dancing around in his own zone. He's being shadowed like a hawk by Reed Lebster. Nick Canati back deep in his own end. Canati had been a defenseman at times with the Steelheads. He's now a forward. Charlie Dodaro plays catch with Sam Jardine. As Dodaro gets taken away by Lebster, Grizzlies clear it back into Idaho ice. Jardine over to Charlie Dodaro. He'll nudge it ahead. McDonnell couldn't reach it. Pike will drift it ahead about 10 feet. Charlie Dodaro throws it back in. We're going to get a penalty on Garrett Pike. As Charlie Dodaro dumped it in, chased after it. Pike interfered with him. Could have called a trip, but interference is going to be the call, and Idaho will get a power play with 2:33 left in the third. Garrett Pike can't believe it. And I got to imagine, based on what was mentioned in the PHPA's report yesterday, I wonder if relations between the players and officials might get a little bit chippy from time to time, maybe more than usual. As Pike probably making the case that Dodaro went down pretty easily, but the penalty's called. Interference is going to be the penalty. 2:33 is left in the third frame. It's 2-1 Idaho, and if you're Everett Sheen, looks like he's going to use his one timeout, but do you pull your goaltender right here and now? Keenan Kelly, the assistant coach, is talking with his team, and we'll have to figure out if Defensi is going to come out for an extra attacker. Timeout Idaho. Head coach John Buchanan talking with his four skaters that's going to be on the ice. Looks like he's talking with Noah Gansky and Griffin Ness, Jack Ricketts as well. We'll see what the Grizzlies come up with here on this penalty kill. And if you're Everett Sheen, it's an interesting time. There's still 2.5 minutes left in regulation. Do you pull your goaltender this early, or do you wait maybe a minute? And remember, on the penalty kill, Grizzlies can get some free clears, so they can go after that empty net. It does look like Defensi is going to be in there to start this Idaho power play. The 4 men for the Grizzlies on this penalty kill unit: Griffin Ness, Jack Ricketts, Noah Gansky, and Luke Salem. Defensi is halfway between the blue line and goal line. I got to imagine if Idaho wins the draw, he's going to skate towards the bench. Draws over in the left circle, the Grizzlies zone, and it's won by Idaho. And racing off the ice, the Idaho goaltender. 6-on-4, Idaho's net's empty. Anderson gets over to the left side. Holmes back to Anderson. He's in the high slot. Anderson feeds it to his left. Now back up top to Anderson. Anderson over to the right side. Malmquist dancing around right side to the left. He shot and it's blocked. Puck ricochets off the left wing boards. Idaho keeps it in. Grizzlies skate from right to left during the period. Anderson across to Malmquist up top. Boltman with a shot and it's blocked. Ricketts will fire towards the empty net. And it misses just wide. Ness now gets the puck on the right side. He gets it taken away by Anderson. Less than 2 minutes left in the third period. Utah leads 2-1. Idaho's net's empty. Long range feed angle left goes to Holmes. Holmes cycles it towards Ports on the right side. He collides with Gansky. Puck moves back around towards the left corner. Salem and Malmquist get there about the same time. Idaho feeds it up top, right point. Boltman keeps it in. He'll get to Anderson in the high slot. Minute left in Idaho's power play. Minute 35 left in regulation. Malmquist up top to Anderson. He fires towards the net, and it's blocked away by the stick of Ness. Boltman gets out in front. Now it kicks towards the crease, hacking away his Ports. Puck ricochets off the Utah end boards. Ports gets it near the right corner. He gets up top to Anderson. Anderson on the right side. He'll feed it back towards Boltman. Boltman back to Anderson. He gets it to the left goal line. Ports back up top. Malmquist now in the left circle. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Wells. Malmquist fired a low liner and about ankle high. Wells was able to make a key save. So the clock freezes with 1:08 left in regulation. 35 seconds left in Idaho's power play. 6-on-4. The Steelheads net is empty. Both teams change up skaters. Manning's out there with Gratton, Hanson Bukata, and Felton. That's the 4 tires on Utah's penalty kill. 6 Idaho players in the Utah zone with the net empty. Wall and Manning will take the draw. Linesman says, my bad, we'll do it over again. High drama here at Maverik Center. We've seen an entertaining game. A little bit more on the low-scoring side. Both teams have really put together a good defensive effort. Fans take up a Let's Go Grizzlies chant. Pretty good-sized crowd here at Maverik Center. And that's despite the fact there's an NHL game being played downtown. Draws going to be over in the left circles. It looks like they're trying to reset the clock. Attendance tonight is 5,077, 5,077. And now Nolan Boyer is going to skate towards the scores table. They're going to reset the clock. So a little bit of a delay as a couple of the Grizzlies skaters are going to go talk with John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson, the Grizzlies brain trust. 5 of the Steelheads are talking things over as they try to drop a play. Big face-off for Luke Manning against the veteran Mitch Wall. Draw one by Manning. It goes towards Wells. Felton whips it around the left wing boards. It's kept in by Charlie Dodaro. He'll move it down low for Hoffman. Over to Chris Dodaro in the left corner. Up top to his brother Charlie. Across to Mitch Wall on the right side. Wall will fire right. He shot and he scores. Wells was screened. And the Steelheads go nuts as we're tied at 2 with 54 seconds left. And it's Mitch Wall that gets the goal. It's his 5th of the year. Boy, it looked like there was a few bodies out in front of Wells. Wall just kind of helicoptered it from the right point and just found the back of the net. Hoffman was out there trying to redirect it. And even if he didn't redirect it, it still would have been. Now it looks like it's Wall that gets the goal as Hoffman would have skated to the bench first if he believes so. So we're tied at 2 as the Steelheads get a power play goal. And it's Mitch Wall coming up big, the former Grizzly who was with Utah over a decade ago. Now the Grizzlies moving out towards center ice. And it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. As Idaho with the puck with about 40 seconds left. They'll sail it all the way out of play. Is it delay of game? The officials are going to talk it over. Is it delay of game as Idaho is in their own zone and they flipped it out of play towards the scores table? It's delay of game. Grizzlies are going to get a power play. The clock continues to run. They're going to have to reset it and go into the box. Is Charlie Dodaro. He can't believe it. They're going to have to reset the clock. So it's going to be a power play for the Grizzlies. 2 minutes for delay of game. As the puck sailed, it was over in the left corner, and it was just flipped out of play. We saw an instance earlier in the game where we thought the Grizzlies should have gotten a power play for delay of game, and none was called. This one's going to be called. Utah has not officially used their timeout, so they can drop a play. Ryan Anderson and John Buchanan are talking things over. So delay of game, Charlie Dodaro goes to the box. So 5-man unit for the Grizzlies. It's going to be Lepster, Ricketts, and Gratton. And up top is Shea and Pike. Ricketts has taken over Voigt's spot on that power play unit. 35.7 seconds left. We're tied at 2. Utah wins a draw. Pike across the Shea. One-timer goes wide. Lepster battles with Pundit along the near wing boards. Puck goes up top to Pike. Across to Shea, just outside the right circle, over to Pike. Pike back to Shea. Now up top to Pike. Pike pedals to his left. He's now in the high slot over to Shea. Shea's got a goal in 4 straight games. Fires towards the net. Ricketts bats it in the air about waist high. And it trickles wide towards the end boards. Gratton falls down near the corner. Now Idaho gets the puck, and they'll saucer it all the way towards Dylan Wells. 10 seconds left. The Grizzlies have one final shot in them. Shea still in his own zone. Rink wide feed. Angle left. Goes tape to Lepster. Lepster with the righty. Shot blocker save by Defensi. And that will do it for the remainder of regulation. We go to overtime. Mitch Walls scored a power play goal. 19:05 in with Charlie Dodaro and Chris Dodaro getting the assists. Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first minute and 25 seconds of overtime. What a fun game we've had here at Maverik Center. Grizzlies were hoping the final score would be 2-1, but Idaho came up with a big power play goal with 55 seconds left in regulation. And if you joined us late, the Steelheads scored exactly 1 minute into the first period as Robbie Holmes picked up his second of the year. Matt Anderson and Charlie Dodaro picked up the assist. Steelheads led 1-0 after one period, despite the fact the Grizzlies outshot the Steelheads 20-10. Grizzlies got a second period goal from Tyler Gratton 19 seconds in with Manning and Salem, the two Lukes getting assists. Score was tied to 1 after 2 periods. Stepan Timofeyev scored a power play goal and a centering pass from Griffin Ness. 8:27 in. It's Timofeyev's third of the year and second as a Grizzly. Idaho had a 6-on-4 power play with their net empty. Mitch Wall scored from the right wing. Brendan Hoffman extended his stick trying to redirect it, but Wall gets the goal. He now has 5 on the year. He's tied with Brendan Hoffman for the club lead. And the two Dodaros, Chris and Charlie, picked up the assists. So Utah's got a 4-on-3 power play goal to start overtime. For John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson, they're certainly talking strategy. Obviously, winning the faceoff to start overtime is going to be big. You wonder who's going to be out there. There's some tough choices. Luckily, there's a little bit of a rest, so part of that 5-man unit we saw at the very end of regulation could be out there to start overtime. For my money, it's the best rivalry in the league, and it's a night like this. Grizzlies have really tried to develop a defensive identity, and they've been successful in doing so far this season. Idaho's really struggled on the defensive side of things, and even though the Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 44-24, both teams really put together a good defensive effort. So to start overtime, the Grizzlies are going to have Tyler Gratton, Reed Lepster, along with Neil Shea and Garrett Pike. Grizzlies win the draw. Pike gets the puck. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in overtime. Pike crosses center ice, so chip it back to Shea. Shea across center ice, steps over the offensive line. Shea to the left wing, skates around Idaho's net towards the near side. He'll get it towards Grattan, or make that Webster. Back to Grattan behind Idaho's net. Power play will last another minute. Up top to Pike. Pike over to Shea in the right side. Shea dangling back and forth, feeds it to Pike. Pike on the left side over towards Webster. Back up top to Pike. Pike dangling, skates towards his right, feeds it to Webster in the left wing. Webster dangles back and forth, now gets to Shea on the right side. Shea back up top to Pike. Pike fires to the net, it goes just wide. Puck ricochets, flips into the air about 10 feet. Webster falls down by assistance of Charlie Dodaro. Idaho races down the middle of the ice. Punt it down the middle of the ice. Take a lefty shot, saved by Rose. Rebound shot and a score. The Steelheads win. And Jade Miller does the old 6-7 thing, gesturing with his hands as Miller gets the game winner. It's his first goal of the season. And the Steelheads get a 3-2 victory. And that's a tough one for the Grizzlies, knowing they were just 55 seconds away from victory. So Miller gets the goal. Connor Punnett will get the main assist. Punnett fired away. First save was made by Wells. And then on the rebound, Miller from the left wing just fired it past Wells, as Wells had a tough time recovering back towards his right. Grizzlies salute their fans that showed out. And it was a pretty good crowd of 5,057. But considering the fact the Grizzlies had a 2-1 lead halfway through the third period, they did all they could to try to close it out. But Idaho just found a way. Mitch Wall with the tying goal with 55 seconds left in regulation. And 54 seconds into overtime. It's Jade Miller getting his first of the year, with Connor Punnett getting the assist. And Miller did the old 6-7 dance to confirm victory for Idaho. Well, I guess we might as well start the post-game show as the fans are filing out. A few Steelheads fans in the building, and they're happy, but that's a tough one for the Grizzlies, considering that they put together a pretty good defensive effort for a good 59 minutes. Grizzlies outshot the Steelheads 44-26. Both teams will head on the bus and go to Boise, and it's going to be a happier one for the Steelheads. Idaho scored on their first shot of the game. It was 1 minute into the first period, as Robbie Holmes scored his second of the year. Matt Anderson and Charlie Dodaro picked up the assists. Grizzlies had 20 shots in the first period. 12 were considered scoring chances, but after one period, Idaho led 1-0. Tyler Grattan scored on Utah's first shift of the second period. It was the second of the year, and the two Lukes, Manning and Salem, picked up the assists. Utah outshot Idaho 13-6 in the second period, and through two periods, Utah had a shot advantage of 33-16. In the third period, Grizzlies outshot the Steelheads 11-8. Utah scored what they hoped was the game winner. 8:27 in, it was a 5-on-4 power play goal as Griffin Ness found Stepan Timofeyev out in front. Timofeyev with his third of the year and second as a Grizzly. Ness with a beautiful pass out in front, and that was directly after winning a 50-50 puck in the corner. Ness now has 3 assists on the season. Idaho got a late third period power play as Garrett Pike got an interference minor. Grizzlies fans believe that the Idaho skater got down pretty easily, but the call was made. 6-on-4, Idaho's net was empty. Puck ended up in the right point. Mitch Wall just helicoptered it past Dylan Wells, with Brendan Hoffman net front trying to redirect it. And then in overtime, Grizzlies had a power play. Worked the puck around, but then puck just kind of pinballed. Idaho had a 2-on-2. Punnett just skated down the middle of the ice, split a double team, fired onto Wells. Wells made the first save, and then Miller on a drive-by got the puck on the left wing, and he noticed that Wells hadn't quite recovered to his right. Miller fired past the goal line to give Idaho a 3-2 victory. For Jade Miller, who's in his 4th season with the Steelheads, he gets his first goal of the year, and Connor Punnett, who's got an NHL contract with the Dallas Stars. Punnett gets his 5th assist of the season. So what a tough one for the Grizzlies, considering that they had the 2-1 lead and they did everything they wanted to defensively, and Idaho just found a way at the end to come away with the 2 standings points. It was Pucks and Pups night here at Maverik Center, and it was an outstanding crowd of 5,077. But just Grizzlies come away with a standing point tonight. Their record goes to 4-5-2. Idaho with the win. Their record goes to 6-5-1 on the season. Well, both teams will get on a bus and head to Boise. The Steelheads bus might be a little bit more lively than the Grizzlies one, but Utah will be looking for some revenge tomorrow night. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. 3 stars of the game. First star goes to Jade Miller, who scored the game winner. Second star goes to Arno Tefensi, the Idaho goaltender who saved 42 of 44. And the third star goes to Tyler Gratton for the Grizzlies. Gratton scored an early second period goal 19 seconds in. So that's the 3 stars of the game. Congratulations to former Grizzly Hunter Skinner, who made his NHL debut tonight for the St. Louis Blues. He was a +1. Philadelphia defeated St. Louis 6-5 in a shootout. Well, that'll just about wrap things up as we got to pack up and get on the bus and get over to Boise for the games on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Once again, the Idaho Steelheads come away with a 3-2 overtime victory over the Grizzlies as fans are still filing out of here, and it looks like the Eccles are heading for the exits as well. And just a tough one for the Grizzlies, knowing that they put together a pretty good defensive effort, and that's the identity that John Buchanan wants with his team. And Grizzlies did a lot of good things, but just came away with 1 standing point. But knowing that they had a lead with a minute left in regulation, just kind of a tough one to swallow. In 2 hours and 31 minutes, and in front of a good crowd of 5,077, it's Utah Grizzlies with a 2-1 lead, but Idaho tied it up 19:05 into the third period, and then Jade Miller scored the overtime game winner 54 seconds in. Grizzlies did get goals from Tyler Gratton and Stepan Timofeyev. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday find a way to get to the National Hockey League. Idaho wins 3-2. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.